From College Town, USA, an SEC showdown between two teams that barely know each other. Mizzou and Mississippi State meet for the 6th time ever on this Saturday night.
Welcome to SEC Saturday Night.
There's a party going on around town. It's one rowdy cowboy throwdown. Miles around, the best of the best come here to put their tough to the test. Give it all for gold or go home broke. When they open up that gate, welcome to the show, welcome to the home of the world's biggest rodeo, where the stars light up the night underneath that Texas sky. Welcome to the show, are you ready for a ride? Yeah, you better buckle up and hold on tight, where the Bayou City streets meet the country roads. Welcome to the show.
From Columbia, Missouri, you're watching SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. This is Faurot Field at Memorial Stadium, and tonight two teams trying to salvage their seasons. Missouri started 5-0, had designs on the playoffs. That has fallen off, and Mississippi State is in need of just one more win to return to the postseason for the first time since Mike Leach led them there in 2022. Another sellout here at Faurot Field, the 20th straight. Mississippi State trying to get it done on the road tonight after heartbreakingly close losses. And Mizzou on senior night is trying to close their season out with style. Let's get you down to the field. The head coach of the Missouri Tigers, Eli Drinkwitz, is with Cole Kublik.
Coach, one start under Matt Zoller's belt. What was the advantage of that coming into this week to prepare him for this game as opposed to going into last week?
Well, I think he kind of knows what to expect. He's got a better understanding of what we're asking him to do, and I'm excited to watch him play tonight.
High-powered offense you'll see on the other side. What are you watching for initially from your defense that has to happen to get a win?
Yeah, we got to get our cleats to the ground, communicate, and stop the run.
Thanks, Coach.
MIZ.
And that's head coach Eli Drinkwitz. 22 consecutive wins against unranked opponents. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers. Certainly a test in the SEC when you throw out not only a freshman quarterback, but a guy who was your third-string quarterback to open the season.
Yeah, a really talented kid, just thrown into a tough spot against Vandy, and then a tough spot making your first career start against one of the top teams in the country. So there's going to be ups and downs. Really talented. He was the number 6 pocket passer as a high school recruit. Just didn't play a ton of football. He actually missed almost his entire senior year, and so you see his numbers from the game last week. He's going to need, as a young quarterback, as any young quarterback does, a really good run game. And good thing he's got two behind him that are two of the best in the country, and that's Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts. Ahmad Hardy, 3rd most rushing yards in the entire country, so he's going to lean on these guys quite a bit tonight, Tom.
Well, the run game has been great for Missouri, and it was great late in the blowout loss to A&M. They just couldn't get it going early. We'll see if that changes tonight. Meanwhile, on the other side for Mississippi State, they need to win tonight on the road or in the Egg Bowl against rival Ole Miss if they want to return to the postseason for Jeff Levy's squad. And we bring Cole Kublik back into the picture. Cole, this is a team that always plays hard despite some heartbreaking losses over the course of the season. They're still trying to grind out wins.
I think it's the #1 takeaway from this football team, Tom. You can talk about the offense, the tempo, maybe the aggressive nature of the defense, some individual performances that they've had. But when you put the film on and you watch this team on Sundays, as you mentioned, a late second loss, an overtime loss, they give full effort for 4 quarters. It was no different than last year as well. Jeff Levy's team can hang their hat on that and now looking to close this season out by getting to the postseason.
Well, it won't be easy. Underdogs here tonight, and then in the Egg Bowl where anything could happen. Blake Shapen has been injured throughout the course of the season. We expect him to return and get the start tonight, but they will play 2 different quarterbacks with Kamario Taylor offering them a change of pace at quarterback. Missouri won the toss. The Tigers have elected to defer, so Mississippi State will receive the football. And State will play 2 different quarterbacks tonight. Who gives them the best advantage to win?
Well, look, Blake Shapen is the guy that has the most experience. He knows this offense inside and out. He's like a point guard, distributes fast decisions. But Kamario Taylor is one of the more talented players on this entire roster. He is dynamic with his legs, a physical runner, also can push the ball downfield. So in certain moments and packages, you'll see #1 out there as well.
20th consecutive sellout here at Memorial Stadium. It's the third year that Missouri has sold out all of its home games. They did it last year. They did it back in 1979 against a loaded schedule with 3 top 10 opponents: Texas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska, and a really good Missouri team that year. The stadium is under renovation. They're redoing the north end zone. The Block M has been relocated for today's game and now behind the Missouri bench, but it used to be right there on a grassy hill. Instead, you see premium seating, they see dollar signs. This place will take a step up when it is redone last year. And after the game with the win, the seniors, 20 of them, will go pick up a painted limestone rock, and that will be the memento for a win in their last home game. And we are underway from Como. No return for Mississippi State. Jeff Levy's high-powered offense, 54th in the country in passing, will be led out by Blake Shapen. Shreveport, Louisiana native, started his college career at Baylor. Deep ball seems to be key for State's offense.
Yeah, this is an offense that wants to spread the ball to the perimeter first, but what you saw after a fast start against Georgia last week was there was no vertical passing game. They have the speed to do it. They just weren't able to stretch the field. This offense becomes very one-dimensional when you don't have that element. Look for them to get it downfield a few times tonight.
This is a top 10 Missouri defense, 9th in the country against the pass. They can get after the quarterback, and a little misdirection on the flip out to Fluff Bothwell. Let's take a look at our impact players tonight.
Yeah, this Mississippi State offense is going to have to deal with 2 of the best defensive ends in the SEC, Zion Young and Damon Wilson. They're both top 10 in the SEC in sacks and edge pressures. And to that point, Brendan Thompson and Anthony Evans are going to get the ball a lot on the perimeter. That was A&M's plan last week. It worked well. I think Mississippi State's going to do that as well.
Impact players brought to you by Hardee's. And a straight ahead run will leave Mississippi State with 3rd and a long 5.
And this is where protection will be tested. I mentioned those 2 premier defensive ends. Head coach Jeff Levy said we got to chip all night. Running backs are going to be big in protection, especially here on a 3rd and passing situation.
Damon Wilson, number 8 on the near side. Zion Young, 4-point stance, top of the formation. 4-man rush. Shapen gets swallowed up and dropped. It's Chris McClellan who came through for the sack, his 3rd of the season.
Well, this is the problem. You spend all your attention on these ends. Jeff Levy mentioned, hey, but number 7 is pretty good as well. Chris McClellan is going to come right through the A-gap, working right by Cannon Boone, the center, right in between Jacoby Jackson, the right guard. And a nightmare start for Blake Shapen. You never like to see 6'4", 323 pounds coming right down the A-gap.
Ethan Pulliam gets it away. Kevin Coleman Jr., the former Bulldog, takes a fair catch at the 35-yard line after a 43-yard punt. And now Matt Zollers making his 2nd start of his career. Bo Prabula with a fractured ankle in the Vanderbilt game. Sam Horn, who's going to be playing for the Dodgers soon, is on the sideline. He was the 2nd string guy. He's got a torn ACL. So it's a PA native, Zollers, to get another crack at it.
Yeah, the thing that probably impresses me the most about Matt Zollers is his willingness to stand in the pocket, even when pressure's coming down. That's not usual for a true freshman quarterback. Usually they want to leave early. They get spooked early. Not with Zollers. He does a great job of hanging in there. It's going to be about being accurate with those throws from the pocket tonight.
Alma, Mississippi native Ahmad Hardy is Missouri's running back. One of the best in the country. They go play action, and Zollers overthrew his intended receiver. Impact players brought to you by Hardy.
Yeah, you mentioned Hardy, and there's Ahmad Hardy and Kevin Coleman. Kevin Coleman, just 1 reception last week. They got to find ways to get him the ball quickly in space as well. Another good outlet for a young quarterback. And on the other side, Nick Mitchell and Tony Mitchell. This defense from Mississippi State knows this offense from Missouri runs through the run game. They're going to be stacking the box and challenging the wide receivers, trying to take Ahmad Hardy out of this game.
And now they'll try to stretch it to the right side. Hardy finds a hole, and now he's got daylight. And Hardy rushes into Mississippi State territory before Kelly Jones forces him out, a gain of 33.
Boy, this is the staple of this Missouri offense. Outside zone, they want to get the entire offensive line headed in the one direction. allow Ahmad Hardy to be patient, read it out. If the hole's front side, hit it with speed. If not, be patient, look for that cutback. That time, great blocking for Brett Norfleet there, the tight end that's back in the lineup. Sprung Hardy.
Good to have Norfleet back. Missed the A&M game with injury. There's Hardy for a couple off the right side. Zachary Tillman with the tackle.
And the problem when Norfleet was not in the lineup is they become very predictable based on what tight end was in the game. Whether it was Jordan Harris or Jude James, very pass run oriented. Brett Norfleet can do it all. He's a physical blocker. He also has 5 touchdowns receiving. He's one of their better downfield target in the play action game as well. So a big get to have him healthy tonight.
2 tight ends on the field now for Missouri. You see Norfleet on the left side looking back in. And Hardy shifty. Picked up 2.5. Another tackle for Tillman, the junior out of Florence, Mississippi. 3rd and 5. What's Missouri's strength on 3rd and 5?
Well, it's really finding either Kevin Coleman or Brett Norfleet. Norfleet, if you were going to go play action, you may be a little bit out of the play action range because 3rd and medium. So I'd look for Kevin Coleman, their speedy slot wide receiver, to find some space here as he crosses the line of scrimmage in motion.
And flag down, free play. Zollers dials deep. It is caught in the corner by Illuminate, the freshman wide receiver. A 26-yard strike, freshman to freshman.
Offside on the defense, number 7, in the neutral zone at the snap. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
That's the voice of our white hat, Lee Hendrick, and Zollers looked like a veteran on that toss.
2 things he did really well there. He recognized that they had a free play because of the offsides, and then he found his one-on-one matchup, his fellow true freshman, Donovan Ilubide, and he threw a great deep ball, something he struggled with last week.
Here's Robert Meyer on for the point after, and the freshman, it's a line drive through the right goalpost.
Boy, the true freshman to true freshman connection on full display early here from Missouri. The future looks bright. 5-1.
Here is your equipment share to the house.
Matt Zollers has Mizzou on the board, third touchdown of the season.
Yeah, deep ball was an issue last week. They were just 2 for 8 on throws downfield of 20 or more yards. That time right on the money. I love it. A true freshman. You recognize you got a free play. You find your best one-on-one matchup, and you throw a really good ball.
And you talked to Eli Drinkwitz about that in our meeting yesterday, that he wasn't giving his wide receivers a chance.
Yeah, I think Vandy game, he was throwing it out of bounds. And then last week, a little long on a few of those throws. So really good air on that one, allowing Donovan Alubade to adjust and bring that one down.
Oliver Robbins has the ball on the tee for Mizzou. We have Fluff Bothwell back to receive for State. Goes the opposite direction, and Devon Booth will get swallowed up by black jerseys at about the 18-yard line. So another crack at it for the Mississippi State offense. Blake Shapen took a sack on their first possession, and he's taken some hard hits over the course of this season.
Yeah, the offensive line has been a little bit of a work in progress. They got 6 different combinations through this point in the season, which is tied for the lead in the SEC. They do have Albert Reese back in the lineup at left guard, number 76, healthy, missed a couple games, so they're as healthy as they've been, but this is a tall task against a really good Missouri defense.
Center Cannon Boone is the only offensive lineman who started every game at his spot, and a quick hit, but an escape by Devon Booth. And a broken tackle ends up picking up 8 yards for Mississippi State.
Yeah, and positive plays to start drives are so important for this Mississippi State offense. They want to get in tempo. They want to push the tempo, especially against this defense with how talented they are up front.
They fake, and now Brandon Thompson, the speedster, picks it up on the end around, and he gets sandwiched, but after he picks up the first down.
Brennan Thompson, he was one of my impact players. He is got speed, Tom.
How fast is he?
He's the fastest wide receiver in college football, and that's not a superlative. That is fact.
Dump off, and Anthony Evans has nowhere to go. He loses 1.5 yards. Thompson transferred in from Oklahoma. The senior out of Texas is a Blazer.
And we got analytics on everything nowadays. You can track speed, you can track acceleration. He hit 22.4 miles per hour in game this year, which is the fastest by any wide receiver on any play at any time in the entire country.
No huddles on 2nd and 11, and Shapen tries to escape, and he's brought down, which will lead to a 3rd and 10.
And this is not where this offense wanted to live, but I do like them going tempo here, trying to not allow Missouri to sub.
Well, State must have subbed because Missouri was allowed to get a couple off. The center judge held the snap.
Brennan Thompson came back onto the field. That's the reason.
And I'm sure they'd prefer to have Thompson on the field on 3rd and long. But it gave Mizzou an opportunity. And Missouri sends 5. Shapen with a face mask gets taken down. It's Damon Wilson who yanked on him. I didn't see a flag. Pardon me, there it is.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run, and it carries an automatic first down.
See Damon Wilson just stick a paw out, and he got Blake Shapen there.
Damon Wilson should be a chiropractor.
I can use a nice neck crack like that.
You get an adjustment. Missouri's been really bad on 3rd downs the last couple of games. It couldn't get A&M off the field. They didn't force a single 3 and out last week against the Aggies. Mike Elko's team has barely survived with a massive 2nd half comeback to stay undefeated with a win today against South Carolina. So fresh set of downs. Shapen delivers a strike and another flag. Brandon Thompson with the catch, and this flag came down in the backfield.
Yeah, Nate Johnson with the hit on Blake Shapen there. They're going to look at targeting.
Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting on the defense, number 90. That play is now under video review.
This is one thing Eli Drinkwitz told me down on the field is they felt like they had a read on when Shapen was going to pull the zone and try to throw into the flats, and that is a defenseless player, obviously quarterback in the pocket, so it doesn't have to be crown of the helmet. Any forcible contact to the head or neck area, and I tell you what, that's forcible contact to the head.
Every bit of it. By the way, one of the keys you mentioned doesn't have to be crown of the helmet, but one of the keys that they look at is where are the defender's eyes, and he was looking straight down at the ground.
Yeah, an indicator, right?
Yeah.
A thrust or lowering your head, where are your eyes, where you're looking. They really want to protect the
After
defender.
video review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
Yeah.
Number 90 for the defense has been disqualified.
I got to tell you, though, if you're Blake Shapen, and I know he's a veteran, and this is a team that plays really hard, and they're a blue, black and blue kind of team, but he has taken some hits all season long. At what point do those accumulate to the point where they affect your play?
Well, they already have, right? I mean, he's been knocked out of the last couple games because of hits very similar to that right there, actually from the backside more so. That's what happened against Georgia last week. A free rusher from the backside on Blake Shapen takes a massive hit there. And he's taken, like you said, Tom, quite a few that looked exactly like that. Yeah. One of the reasons you start to see them mix in Kamario Taylor a little bit at times, especially in the red zone or short yardage situations, trying to take some hits off Blake Shapen.
Booth is in the backfield now. I want to stay with that line, and there's a flag down, and we got lots of movement. It's one thing, the impact that has on you
Ball
physically.
start on the offense, number 77. That's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains first down.
David Q. James with the jump on the left side. But what about mentally from standing in the pocket, from being able to finish the play, knowing what's been going on the offensive line, that you're going to take some licks?
Yeah, here's what happens. When you take hits like that as a quarterback, your eyes drop. So you start to see the rush, and when you do that, you can't play the position. You stop looking at your reads and your receivers. You start escaping the pocket too early, and it's all downhill from there.
False start on the offense, number 77. That's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains first down.
And Cole, it seems like offensive linemen get impacted by that too. Back-to-back false starts for James.
Not so much the hit on the quarterback, but just getting beat. Then now you're worried about what your set's going to be. You want to try to get a jump on that defender, Tom. Just get a half a second jump on that snap to get a little bit of an edge. Backfired that time.
Four-man rush from Mizzou. Shapen escapes up the middle, and he dives forward. The ball came out likely after he was down. There was a clear and immediate recovery for Missouri.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was down. It's second down.
It's an 8-yard scramble for Blake Shapen.
Yeah, great read. They're in zone coverage. Everybody vacates, no eyes on Shapen, but ball security has been an issue for Blake. Now, obviously, the ground caused that fumble.
5 fumbles over the last 3 games. Now, he's only lost 1 of them, but that will drive Jeff Levy nuts.
Yeah, his ball security in the pocket has been poor, and it's cost them in big moments.
Looking near side, and he delivers Anthony Evans. He immediately gets taken down by Toriano Pride Jr.
Right, and this is part of the result of not being able to stretch the field vertically. You got defenders like Toriano Pride that sit in zone coverage with heavy feet. They're not worried about getting beat deep. They're worried about rallying to the tackle and taking away space in the line of scrimmage like he did right there.
Corey Batoon's Missouri defense already has 3 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. This is only the 2nd possession for State. That's 3 out of 10 plays State has run. That's Thompson in motion. Shapen looking for him. Everybody's covered. He's trying to scramble on 3rd down, and he steps out of bounds on a 3rd and long play. So 4th down from the 30-yard line.
Jeff Levy, a big analytics guy, not afraid to go for it on 4th down, but that would have to be 4th and probably 4 or less for him to consider that. 4th and 8, just a little bit too long.
So here's the veteran Kyle Ferry, Arkansas native, lining one up from 47. Nine of 12 on the season for Ferry, and that one starts left, and it just gets inside the upright. Nice little draw for Ferry, and that will cap a 9-play, 51-yard drive. State having to settle for a field goal after Shapeman took some hard hits. Ferris knocked through his 10th of the season, and Missouri leads 10-3, 7-3.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. If you didn't know T-Mobile has home internet, you do now.
Well, Matt Zollers is making his home in the Midwest, and he's kind of like a Western throwback, huh?
Yeah, young gunslinger. Here's the good from Zollers. It's the playmaking ability. Free rusher here, uses athleticism, finds a receiver in tight coverage down the sideline. That's been the good. The bad, I mentioned it already. Some of the deep ball accuracy. This one lands way out of bounds. Got to just learn to leave the ball on the field. An underthrow sometimes is your best in the promising here. Not the ugly, the promising. He's willing to stand in there with a free rusher and deliver a strike right here on the money. Ended up being dropped, but I love the way he has courage under fire and accuracy. Kind of like another dude that was a pretty good gunslinger back in the day for TV, in movies.
Yeah,
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood had a much longer runway. I mean, the learning curve has to be really steep for a true freshman quarterback to be thrown into SEC play.
No doubt. Yeah, thrown into a massive matchup on the road at Vandy, and then an even bigger one against A&M last week. But I tell you what, you see moments of growth here and there. It's never going to be perfect for any young quarterback, but I like what I see so far.
And here's the outlaw Josie Wales, Kevin Coleman. And he takes it to the line for a first down. St. Louis native back in his home state after bouncing around a couple of spots. Went out of high school in St. Louis to play for Deion Sanders at Jackson State. He was the SWAC freshman of the year. Played with a Heisman Trophy winner down there.
Third in the SEC in receptions. I love how offensive coordinator Kirby Moore uses him like a chess piece in this offense. You see, he's always on the move.
Ahmad Hardy.
I'll tell you one thing you're going to learn pretty fast going against number 29. You got to wrap up. You cannot come up to Ahmad Hardy with a shoulder and think you're going to bring him down. One of the best in the country at forcing missed tackles, broken tackles. He's a bowling ball back there.
And he's got space again. And a pop to the outside before he gets hit from behind. Another first down run for Ahmad Hardy. And he is piling up the yardage here early on, averaging 14 yards a carry.
Yeah, it's just a great job. Little inside zone. Sees the cutback, hits it with a burst, and then again running through arm tackles.
It's a great example of how much of the field you have to defend when he's running the football. That's cut all the way backside behind the backside tackle.
68% of his yardage total comes after contact. Zollers has a clean pocket, and that is a strike to Joshua Manning, and he dances through. Manning to the end zone. Touchdown, Mizzou, 34 yards. They didn't take long, did they?
Boy, two really good drives to start this game from Matt Zollers. And I love the play calling on that drive from Kirby Moore, moving Kevin Coleman around, getting Ahmad Hardy going, really mixed up the run pass, and dialed up some easy throws for Zollers and the catch after the run.
As Kirby in the middle of that screen. Point after is true. Missouri's had 2 possessions. Each time Hardy has had a huge run, and each time Zollers has finished it off.
Yeah, the true freshman looks really good to start this game as Missouri bounces back.
For every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. Well, Jeff Levy's team has been sensational in first quarters coming into this game, allowing fewer than 3 points per game over the first 10. But Missouri has scored on both possessions so far tonight.
Yeah, they got to get the run game going. That was one thing Jeff Levy said. He said running back production from both those guys, Fluff Bothwell and Devon Booth. It's got to be a big part of the offense tonight. Help them get into their tempo and stay ahead of the chains against a really good Missouri pass rush.
Booth takes the fair catch. Cole, would you be surprised if we see Camario Taylor soon?
I would not, because as you guys both just stated, the initiative of running the football for this team is going to be here all night. And if they can't get it going traditionally, that's the one thing that Jeff Lebby said that Camario adds, is the ability to run just a little bit more. He'll be in behind Blake Shapen right now.
Yeah, that brings a little firepower to the pistol. Two quarterbacks on the field at the same time. And they fake the option and they bring it back the near side. A little misdirection on the window dressing for State. And Xavier Gayton, sophomore out of Brookhaven, Mississippi, picks up 2.
Yeah, he's done a great job filling in for Blake Shapen in the last 2 weeks. And he's going to take the snap on this one.
Shapen off of his left hip. Hand off to Shapen, who wants to throw on the run. A little razzle-dazzle for State. It's converted to Thompson, and he's in a foot race. Brennan Thompson, the fastest receiver in the country, takes it all the way down inside the 20 for a gain of 54.
I love it. You're just stealing eyes on the second and third level. All these guys are worried about, okay, which quarterback's going to get it, what's going to happen, and they just lose track of Brennan Thompson in zone coverage, and his speed does the rest. Love the little wrinkle that Jeff Lebby added in there, getting both quarterbacks on the field. Now Blake Shapen goes to the sideline, and Camario Taylor out there by himself.
Taylor has converted 58% of his passes on the season, the freshman out of Macon, Mississippi. More dangerous with his legs. That's how he converted against Georgia. And a QB draw, and he takes it to the outside and down to the 15.
Jeff Lebby said he's a top 3 talent on our team. Any position, any side of the ball. He says he's going to be really special, but he's been very careful about the moments and the opportunities that he's given Camario Taylor to try to make sure he builds his confidence the right way.
We're going to overload the left side. Bothwell in the backfield. And Taylor trying to take it to the outside, and he gets thrown down for no gain. And that will leave third down, and they're going to keep Camario Taylor in at quarterback. Big stop for DeAndre Hopkins. Taylor's going to run it. He's got room. He's got a first down as he bangs his way inside the 5.
It's a great job of using motion to just move guys out of the way. You motion your back, fluff Bothwell out of the backfield. That bumps linebackers over, and then you run right where that linebacker was before the motion with your big quarterback, 6'4", 230, getting downhill.
And now they flip it, bring Shapen back in.
So you're definitely going against tendency for Jeff Lebby. A couple of times you would think Shapen would back in. He's out. You think Taylor would stay in. Shapen comes back in.
And a quick snap. Handoff. Nope. Shapen kept it, and he gets thrown down for another tackle behind the line of scrimmage. It's Darius Smith that time for Mizzou.
That was a really good job by Darius Smith. They were trying to get a little hide route. Leak a guy into the flat for an easy throw, and Smith blew that up.
I talked to Darius Smith on the field before the game warming up. He's going to play about 4 positions tonight. I said, which job are you most excited about tonight? And he said, defense.
You saw the stats on Shapen and the hits he's taken. Hard to find a quarterback in the game who's been sacked more than Shapen. They bring pressure. Shapen finds his tight end, and stumbling out of bounds for a limited gain goes west.
Like Cole, you mentioned kind of breaking tendency of when they put Shapen back in, when they pulled Camario Taylor out. In hindsight, maybe you would have loved to leave him in there inside the 10-yard line, get a couple physical runs going downhill. Instead, now you're 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. Going to come out in a 5-wide look. Keep an eye on Zion Young right here if that ball doesn't come out fast.
Shapen looking to the sideline, and State's going to use a timeout.
Timeout, Mississippi State. That's their first charge timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
27 seconds left in the opening quarter. Third possession of the game for Mississippi State. A sack and a punt on their first possession in a 5-minute drive that netted them a field goal on their second. It's been a tough luck program over the course of the season, especially in league play. Just 1-5 against SEC opponents. They burst out of the gate early and sent notice with an upset at home against Arizona State. But they failed to continue that momentum. Takes some big bust in big moments. Tennessee had a pick six. Texas had a punt return. All of those broke State's back. 5-1 possession games.
This is where Sterling Webb, 10 for Missouri, was great for this defense a week ago.
He's the nose guard. He's going to line up right over center Cannon Boone.
Chapin has time. Now pressured. Eludes Young. Will take off. Wanted to throw. And then he's forced out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Decision for Levy. Keep the offense on the field. There's a flag.
Holding on the defense. Holding on the defense, number 13. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the end of the run, and it carries an automatic first down.
And that is a huge break for Mississippi State. Get a fresh set of downs and move the ball down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, that's Dalen Carnell. And that was right in the direction that Blake Chapin was looking. I believe he got tied up with Brennan Thompson in the slot.
Would you go to Taylor here?
Again, last few weeks, it's kind of what they've done. So
I'll tell you, I don't care if it's Taylor, Bothwell, Booth. I just get downhill right here. You have the backs, the personnel to do it. Get north and south quickly.
And the tight end Traore lined up on the right side. It's Chapin on a QB draw. It took a hit, and he shoved his way in. Javen James cleared the way for him, and Blake Chapin with a touchdown run, and his helmet got ripped off in the process. That is one tough dude. There's the signal now.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
I'll tell you, Tom, I'm right in the back of the end zone before where that happened. I felt that shot to Blake Chapin.
Well, I love it. We've talked about breaking tendencies. We just said, is this where Kamario Taylor would be? And instead, you run the play you thought you'd run with Taylor. You run it with Chapin, and really close. Those knees come down, it looks like, but maybe the tip of the ball. Boy, they come down before they pop back up.
He's defying gravity.
Yeah.
I thought that first look, it had broken the plane.
Yeah, it did look like it.
But they're taking, as they review every scoring play, extra look at this one.
See when these knees come down. It's like right there.
It'd be tough to overturn, even if with his left hand covering up the football at the front end of it. So Nathan Ferry on for the point after, and it is good. Pardon me, Kyle Ferry bangs it through. A high-scoring opening quarter. Missouri with the lead here in Columbia, Missouri. With a touchdown on the board moments ago, Cole Kubelik with Jeff Levy.
Coach Levy, you've rotated quarterbacks just a little bit, Blake Saban, Kamario Taylor. Based on what you've seen so far, how will that change the direction you want to go the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think both guys are going to play. We got to do a great job mixing it up, keeping these guys off balance. That, to me, is what can create some sustainability in the run game, and we need that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
No return for Missouri. And Zoller's back to work. 3 for 4 for 71 yards and much more efficient tonight. It helps with the Missouri offense, run game and pass game. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. They've already had 9 plays and 4 of them have gone for 20 yards or more.
Yeah, Ahmad Hardy, when he gets going, this offense just unlocks. Then you get the boots, you get the quick passing game, you get the shots downfield. Everything runs through 29. Now Jamal Roberts out there, another really good running back.
Zoller is trying to fit it into a tight window, and he finds Kevin Coleman Jr. Coleman led Mississippi State in receiving last season. That was a gain of 5 on first down. And now Hole on the left side. Jamal Roberts this time, and he goes all the way into the chairs. He would.
Is that a sport?
It should be.
Great up front, big hole for Roberts. And
what are his 2 offensive linemen there? Help the guy out. Stop him.
65's got to throw a hand out there and give him a little assistance there. Human parachute.
They know how hard he is to bring down, and they wanted none of it. Stretch to the right side. It's Hardy in the backfield now, and Hardy laying a lick. What a 1-2 punch.
Cole, you may need to add Brett Norfleet.
He's there. He's already
to
invited.
The block party.
He's already invited.
Because this is massive from the tight end. Watch this block right here from Norfleet. Come on. Brylan Lanier coming up trying to set a firm edge, and Norfleet goes, son, get your weight up. That is massive.
Offensive lineman in the game. He takes pride in it. He loves it.
Big dude, 6'6", 260. He outweighs Lanier by 70 pounds. First down run for Ahmad Hardy.
And I'll say this, Tom. We talked to Brylan Lanier yesterday, and the one reason I wanted to talk to him is that young man is not afraid to put his body on the line. He took on 2 Georgia pullers last week, and I thought he was going to get killed. He'll come up and hit anybody, anything, any size. I don't know the tight end from Missouri, but that young man has no remorse for his body playing football.
Started his college career as a walk-on at Alabama, then went to Indiana, then the JUCO route. He said, I appreciate everything about this Mississippi State program. Trying to stretch it to the near side this time, and Roberts taken down. Cole, when they run that stretch play, does the running back have a designed gap to get through, or is he just waiting for daylight?
Definitely not a design gap. You have a track that you follow. Some outside zone schemes will have an aiming point that they'll start with, so it could be left butt cheek of the left tackle if you're running out to the left. It could be off of the outside shoulder of the tight end. You understand, though, Tom, that's going to change. So you can't designate A gap, B gap, C gap, because the whole point of the play is that it can hit anywhere.
4-man rush. Zoller stands tall, but he's picked off. Overthrew his receiver. And Mississippi State's opportunistic defense, this time led by Nick Mitchell. His first takeaway of the season, 12th interception for Mississippi State.
And this is what Mississippi State needed. Another really good drive going from Missouri, and just a freshman mistake. Got a little snag concept and just got hung up. Ball needs to come out a little early. Watch, going to be looking to his left. He's going to have a corner route, little snag route. Ball's got to be out now. And to the outside shoulder, got to feel that inside defender, Nick Mitchell. Stared it down and led Mitchell right to it.
Watch the attempted shake by Mitchell right there. You have to have an appreciation for that. That's a 240-pounder that thinks he's 180 pounds.
And 6 tackles in the Georgia game, and Mitchell, his second takeaway of the year. Chapin keeps it on the right side. And a huge opportunity for Mississippi State. Stealing a possession with the interception. Second down 8. Straight ahead run, Devon Booth. Utah State transfer. And it leaves Bulldogs with a 3rd and 6. Chapin steps up. He's going to run for it, and he picks up the first down before the slide.
It's a savvy move by a veteran 6th-year quarterback. Sees pressure coming from the right side. The left side of the screen there. He's going to realize it's man coverage, though. Nobody's got Chapin. See Darius Smith there trying to spy, just a little late.
And that one was incomplete, tipped out of the hand of Chapin.
You mentioned that, Jordan. That's one of the things we talked to Corey Batoon, the Missouri defensive coordinator, about yesterday. Kind of that art of the spy. How do you coach it? What are the technique, the fundamentals that go with it? And the one thing he told us is you can't get sucked up. You cannot get sucked up to the line of scrimmage where your quarterback or whoever it is leaving the pocket's going to be able to do what Blake Chapin just did.
All about spacing. Missouri sends the house. Chapin delivers, and it is Anthony Evans with the first down grab.
This is a really good job by Blake Chapin. The pocket is going to condense around him. Watch him just stay in there, hanging in, delivering a strike to Anthony Evans.
And now they run it off the right side with Chapin. He gets stopped by Marvin Burks.
You mentioned it, those hits that pile up. I was talking about, is he going to start to feel a little antsy? Are things going to start to move fast for him? It's a great little insight that he's still playing the position, not scared, hanging in the pocket, delivering a strike.
9 of 10, and he finds Traore, the tight end, who just sat right at the sticks, and picks up the first down. This drive started with a Mississippi State interception. A little low on the perimeter to Evans, and his blocker will give him an extra yard before he gets thrown down, and that will draw a flag. Santana Banner was in on it for Missouri, and the officials discussing it. 2 that were right there on top of the play. 1 threw the flag. I'm not sure the other one thought it was a penalty. It is 15 yards.
You see Banner here just throwing Anthony Evans to the ground. A little excessive, probably some frustration. The tempo was mounting for Mississippi State, gain after gain.
And what makes it a penalty is that forward progress had already been stopped and the whistle had been blown. A couple big mistakes for Missouri here in the second quarter. First the pick, then the penalty. 1st and goal for the Bulldogs. Chapin out of the shotgun. Rolls to his right. Oh, got crunched again. That time it was Josiah Trotter.
Boy, the hits are adding up for Chapin early in this game. He's trying to get down. Trotter beats him there. That's
It looks like his boots are a little wobbly. They're looking to look at it for potential targeting.
I was going to say it's kind of a sideways slide from Chapin. He's going down.
Plays under video review for a potential targeting.
He's not a protected player, right? Because he's a runner. Darius Smith ended up delivering the hit. Or pardon me, Trotter delivered the hit, but Smith had kind of turned his head
Yeah, so this should be a crown of the helmet situation. That should be what the refs are looking at. You see, there's definitely an indicator. He's going down. The helmet is lowered. The crown, remember, is the very top point of the helmet with a 6-inch radius.
And we're talking about Josiah Trotter's helmet, the Missouri linebacker.
I think also, are they gonna say that Chapin was giving himself up there? I think it was kind of late to say that he completely gave himself up. So he's runner, or should have to be the crown of the helmet.
He has had some unconventional slides so far tonight. You know, I saw legendary state baseball coach Ron Polk down on the field before the game. He could probably give Chapin some tips on how to slide.
How to slide, yeah.
Well, to your point about crown of the helmet, that looked textbook for Josiah Trotter. If you were to circle that diameter that you're talking about, it would have been, you could put an X marks the spot right on the top of his 3 stripes.
Yeah, so again, I think this will be a targeting. To your point, it did look crown of the helmet. Shouldn't matter.
After video review, video evidence shows that number 4 targeted the runner using the crown of his helmet. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. It carries an automatic first down. Number 40 of the defense has been disqualified.
That is a huge loss for Missouri's defense. Trotter is their leading tackler. Comes from great lineage. His dad, 4-time Pro Bowl and in the Eagles Hall of Fame. We had a great visit with Trotter earlier this season. He is the heart and soul of that defense, and he is lost for the remainder of this game.
It's really tough for a defender because you're thinking the quarterback's going to come in at a normal height, and he starts to slide, so your body starts to follow him. Obviously no malintent there from Trotter, but it was textbook, crown of the helmet, trying to protect the defender there, and a big loss, like you said, for Missouri.
Fluff Bothwell is the running back. State looking for the lead. Here's Chapin, and he gets taken down behind the line again. Darius Smith with a big play for Mizzou.
Like Cole mentioned, the versatility of Darius Smith. Such a dynamic player, 6'5", 240. He'll play outside. He'll play a 3 technique. He'll play off the ball. Former transfer from Georgia. A heck of a player. And you see there bringing in another really good Taylor.
I don't know about you, but I've never heard a guy that doubles between 3 technique and star.
Yes, exactly.
Second and goal. Camario Taylor will take the snap. He wants to run it. He's got a convoy, but he gets tripped up and manages a couple of yards. Dalen Carnell was in on the stop for State.
Third down. Let's see if they leave Camario Taylor out there.
You think this is 4-down territory?
I think
given Levy's play calling?
I think so. 6'4", 230-pound quarterback. I'd give him 2 more cracks going downhill.
Levy was a standout high school offensive lineman before injuries derailed his career. Chapin will watch. It's Taylor and Bothwell in the backfield. Taylor keeping it and can't get through the traffic. Chris McClellan with the tackle for Missouri, and now 4th down and multiple flags, and they came after the play seemingly. Remember, Missouri gave Mississippi State a fresh set of downs inside the 10 on the last drive.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty. Will be enforced half the distance to the goal. Carries an automatic first down.
That is the 5th Missouri personal foul in this first half, and 2 have been ejected to targeting.
That's Stephen Hall right there, number 0.
He's tied up with the tight end Cam Ball. Oh boy.
I don't know if I love that one at all. Way away from the ball. Right at the end of the play.
Sellout crowd voicing its displeasure here in Boone County.
The play clock did not start properly. We will go to replay to determine the correct time to start the play clock and the game clock.
So they'll go to replay to look at the time. We'll get another look at the fist between Hall and Ball.
And just watch as the play is ending. I mean, the play is, I mean, yeah, does he grab his face mask in the air? But look how inconsequential it is. A little frustration. I mean, if you were going to call a personal foul there, I think you could do that before you call a face mask. Either way.
Yeah, they were both locked up.
Yeah.
And from that angle, we couldn't see if Ball had Hall's face mask at the same time.
Yeah. It also looked like forward progress was probably ending at that point that they were tied up anyway, too.
I mean, top of screen, number 10 in white.
And the play is over, you know.
Oh, well.
Please reset the game clock to 7:07 and the play clock to 25
Regardless,
seconds.
Cam Ball needs to work on his
time.
taekwondo skills because he was unable to chop that arm away when it was on the face mask.
I don't even think the attention is brought to that play time without those strikes that you're referencing.
Yeah.
Good point. First and goal for Mississippi State. This will be the 13th play of this drive.
Said a couple runs right up the middle with Camario Taylor gets stuffed. Is Jeff Levy trying to get him on the edge?
He's got Bothwell with him in the backfield. And one guy uncovered top of the formation. The Traore goes in motion. Taylor bottled up, taken down. Zion Young with the tackle. It'll be a loss of a yard. Marquise Graciel was the first man there, and Young with the cleanup.
Wow, this front for Missouri is just dominating the line of scrimmage. No push from this Mississippi State offensive line down here inside the 5. Stonewalling Camario Taylor back to back to back.
So what's in the playbook to get to the perimeter, or do they have time to do it?
Yeah, I'd almost love just a sprint out. Get number 1 on the perimeter with the two-way option.
Play clock already at 1. It's at 0, and that will move State back farther.
Delay of game on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty that remains second down.
Remember, there's an issue with the play clock on the play prior, and I wonder if that's Jeff Levy's perspective that there was another issue before that one.
Yeah, Levy gets Blake Shapen back in there.
You can see Levy giving the play call into the helmet of Shapen. Quarterback draw. Shapen has nowhere to go.
Boy, you're getting man coverage. You got Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans. I'd love to see a stack route, a motion before the snap, trying to take advantage of the man press coverage that Missouri's giving you right now, and it's just been quarterback run after quarterback run.
And now the 15th play of this drive.
They're going to get the same look here from Missouri. Levy's going to take a timeout and think about this one.
We'll do it with
timeout.
1 on the play clock. 5:15 to go in the second quarter. This feels like a heavyweight battle. Who wins this part of the war? State had first and goal at the 2. And now a bad snap. It got away from the holder. And Missouri scoops it up. It's Toriano Pride Jr. Disaster for State. Missouri taking advantage. Pride down the sideline. Pandemonium in Columbia. "62-yard return." Mississippi State had first and goal at the 2 after a 15-play drive, and they get nothing.
I'm not sure I've seen a worse sequence of plays. You get 6 quarterback runs in a row. You get stalled inside the 5. You settle for a field goal, a low snap, really tough to deal with as a holder. You end up trying to flip your hands or not flip your hands. Goes off the knee of the holder. The ricochet gets picked up, and Toriano Pride, a great job just keeping this thing alive, straddling the sideline. Really close to getting 1 foot out there, but what a turn of events. You mentioned it, Tom. They were at the 2-yard line with the first down.
That is incredible. There's an injured Mississippi State player near the 50. We'll update that in a moment. Special teams for Mississippi State that just put an exclamation point on that failed 7-minute 14-second drive.
That's the toughest spot for a holder. I was a holder in college as well. The low right at your knee is the toughest spot to react to. High, I'm fine with that. I got to come out of my stance a little bit. That low one really tough, and what a turn of events. That drive took, what, 7 minutes off the clock there, 15 plays. You get inside the 2-yard line, and here's your result. Missouri almost inside the red zone.
It was a 62-yard return for Toriano Pride. And Ahmad Hardy with the carry.
Jeff Levy right now trying to look back at that drive, probably look back at some of those red zone play calls and see what he could have changed. You mentioned it. I think I said it, 6 quarterback runs in a row. Not sure all those were called that, but
they ended up quarterback carries. I think when you take a snapshot of Mississippi State's season this year, it's and we talked with Jeff Levy about this yesterday. The margin for error for them is so slim. They can't afford to make mistakes like they did on the failed field goal, or B, not to convert when they have it 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. End around and a chance to run and find some space to the right side. And open field tackle. And if you look at it, like that's where the frustration comes from within this program. They've been so close in so many games, and it's been one play, one sequence that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, and you thought maybe that Arkansas close win kind of created some belief and some confidence in these close games. And this one's far from over, so I don't want to sound like it's doom and gloom. That's a really tough drive when you get an opportunity, really good opportunity to change the complexion of the game, take the lead before half. They're trying to keep this a 1-score game before half.
Timeout taken by Missouri.
This is their first charge timeout of the half.
Zoller's 2 touchdown passes already today on just 6 attempts. Summary summarizes the game. Zollers with a couple of touchdown passes on Missouri's 2 opening drives. Missouri's defense has dialed up the pressure all night. Blake Shapen had a touchdown plunge. But then this, yeek.
Got a little weird after that. Sure did. The 15-play drive by Mississippi State getting to the 2-yard line, settling for a field goal, and then that.
They're down 3. Zollers has it. Double pump. And found a band member. Hey, good catch, first row. Yeah. Going to be on TV tonight. Get that dude bottle service at my house. He deserves it.
Great little mullet, too.
He's from Carrollton, Missouri. Nice catch.
He's like, dude, you see that? He snagged it.
It's like Happy Gilmore's caddy.
Yeah, it kind of is. All right, let's see if we can get a clean operation here.
34-yard attempt for Robert Meyer.
Also a great mullet.
Indeed. He's from Colfax, California. Oh, my. You know, we have all these premier head coach opportunities, and agents are going to drive the money up for the best coaches in the game. Special teams coaches around college football today, the good ones are going to get raises.
Yes.
Because there have been some massive mistakes throughout the day.
Offside on the defense in the neutral zone, causing an offensive reaction. 5-yard penalty that results in a first down.
That little flinch and movement up. I think that was, not sure who that was down there, but that is a huge mistake by Mississippi State.
Zoller's out of the shotgun. Check to the signals on the sideline. He's going to tell his center Connor Tollison to hold on. Ahmad Hardy tried to bounce it to the outside. We had a great visit with quarterback and center yesterday. On the crowd not appreciative of the Mississippi State effort after the whistle. Zollers is a big-time golfer. He's got a membership to Old Hawthorne, a very nice private club, the east side of town. I asked Connor Tollison, what do you play? He said LA Nickel, the public spot that doesn't even have a single sand trap on it. That's the difference in NIL money between a center and a quarterback.
He just put a defender in the sand trap for about 7 seconds after the whistle right there, too. It's nice.
Second down 9. By the way, LA Nickel is a very nice course.
I like no sand traps. My ball always seems to find them wherever they are.
The sand more than David Hassel. Here's Hardy trying to shove his way forward. What an impressive runner and an impressive run and a spike for the exclamation point. 10-yard touchdown run for Ahmad Hardy. Well, on the previous drive, Mississippi State had 16 plays but couldn't score. And on this one, Missouri needs 5 plays to punch it in. Ahmad Hardy plays the chip on his shoulder. He said, I've been overlooked every step of my football life. He was on the B field when he first showed up. Louisiana Monroe. Said nobody could tackle me there. I scored every time I touched the ball. Got a chance to start. And he has parlayed that great season last year as a freshman, a great one this year.
A lot of big bodies down here, but watch Joshua Manning. He's going to come in and then he's going to work back out. I think he ended up maybe went the wrong way, but then he found a block there. And Hardy just did a great job of staying alive. The patience and physicality that he runs with. I mean, just how was he not down there?
It's unbelievable.
Norfleet just escorting dudes into the end zone.
Yeah, that's what he does, man.
Mississippi State's goal this week when they had specific tackling circuits on practice at Wednesday was a phrase they call kill the engine. You try to take down these great running backs at their legs and get that engine to stall. Hardy's like a jacked up F-350 just trucking over dudes.
With monster truck tires for quads. Like I love the thought of that, but then as soon as I heard about it, I just had all these visions of defenders that have bounced off his lower body all year.
And when you go low, that's when the stiff arm comes into play. You know, there's no good place to tackle Hardy. You got to bring 2 or 3 to the party, or it's not going to happen.
Well, Mississippi State has been snake bit all season. High leverage situations have gone the other team's way. This strip sack fumble return for a touchdown helped Tennessee back in the game. They were poised to kick a game-winning field goal before Chapin threw it to a D lineman, and they punted away to one of the best return men in the league, and Texas took advantage with a punt return touchdown for momentum. And now this, a bad snap, a 63-yard return, and Missouri has seized momentum in this game.
A couple overtime losses, a 2-point loss there to Florida on that interception like you mentioned. This team has been so close so many times.
Zion Young with the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Jordan outside.
Timeout, Missouri.
This
is their second charge timeout of the half.
That is 7 consecutive quarterback carries for Mississippi State's offense. Not all by design, as you pointed out a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
so how do you avoid that if you're Mississippi?
Please reset the game.
My impact players coming to this game were Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans. I felt like that's where the advantage was against this Missouri defense, is getting away from that defensive line, getting away from the box because they're so good in there, getting into your speed on the outside. That hasn't been the plan, and you're getting man coverage out there. So I keep looking at this structure that Missouri is presenting. I'm going, that's where the advantage is. Like, let's get motion, stacks, bunches. Let's create some space on the outside and take hits off Blake Shapen. But
Cole hit on this earlier. Corey Batoon is using a spy tonight on either quarterback, and even though that spy specifically hasn't made a tackle, there's Batoon with the hat in the middle, right side of your screen in the glasses. It feels like they have just clogged everything up. Four-man rush. Shapen going down the sideline, underthrown and intercepted now off the hands of Santana Banner. A missed opportunity for Banner, who's right there.
Yeah, and this one hangs a little bit too much from Blake Shapen. It's a tough throw from Shapen because Traore didn't have his eyes up. So as a quarterback, you notice that. You try to put more air on it to let him adjust to it and get his head around. And Banner was just right there, and Traore did a great job of breaking that up.
Third down, 13. Play clock at 4. To 1. To 0. Here comes pressure. Shapen stands tall again, goes down the sideline again, and threw it wide.
Boy, the frustration from Shapen. That's been kind of the story the last couple weeks. The pressure he's been under when they've tried to push the ball vertically. Zion Young
just tossing offensive tackles.
I mean, yeah, you got your right tackle laying on his back. That's never a good sign for a quarterback.
Missouri has 2 sacks tonight and 9 tackles for loss. Ethan Pulliam punched it away, not a good one, but it takes a Bulldog bounce, and Kevin Coleman will let it roll. They're trying to force him over there to get it to touch it. It turns into a 51-yard punt for Pulliam. It was a 5-star pitcher at Starkville High School, former Yellow Jacket. Grew up a Derek Jeter fan. See, we always had Yankee hats around the house. I love the Yankees, but now I'm a Ronald Acuna guy. 21-10 Missouri, 2:05 remaining. So Tigers will have the 2-minute timeout and then one other timeout remaining. Do you take some shots?
I think you keep leaning on your running game because that's been opening everything up. Ahmad Hardy already 97 yards in this first half.
It's Jamal Roberts' turn to take a crack at it, and he maybe gets a yard. 2-minute timeout. Missouri has put 21 points on the board here in this first half. They scored 14 in the opening quarter. And this relentless Missouri defense has been punishing State tonight. They've never been better, Dari. Second down 9 for Matt Zollers and Missouri. Zollers 4 of 7, 2 touchdowns but a pick. Straight ahead, Tigers have a timeout available. Jamal Roberts with the carry. And they will go no huddle, but don't use a timeout. It's always an intricate dance when you're looking at a third down and trying to figure out if we're going to stop the clock or risk giving it back to the other team.
And I think you feel pretty good about the way your defense is playing right now. And although it's just an 11-point lead, it feels bigger than that. You know, Missouri has controlled this game and answered the bell on defense when they needed to. So I don't think you need to take any risks here. Let this play clock tick down. High percentage throw or a handoff here.
It's Roberts, found the gap and finds the hash marks. He just gobbles up yardage past the 50. Clock will stop to move the chain. 22-yard run.
And now's when you can push that tempo a little bit. Little urgency here. After that big first down, flip the field and see if you can't get some points here before half.
Nearly a third of Missouri's plays have gone for 20 yards or more. Completion to the edge to Lubiday. He gets ridden out of bounds, and that will stop the clock at 59. And Missouri still doesn't have to burn the timeout.
Boy, how good has Lubiday been? Obviously, the big touchdown reception earlier.
I was talking to Paul Rhodes, who's on the Mississippi State staff for the game, and he said, you know, one thing you got to be careful of, freshman to freshman, they've worked together a lot more than maybe Zollers has with some of these other wide receivers.
Yeah, neither one of them was on the field early in the season. It took Lubiday, the freshman from Chicago, really until the Auburn game for his coming out party. To the run game, and Tigers will use their timeout here.
Well, Connor Tollison 15 yards downfield.
What's he doing down there?
Blocking somebody's rear end.
No, they're not going to use a timeout yet. Third down. 40 seconds and counting. Roberts has been split way out the last couple of these plays, then sprinted back into the backfield. Zollers lets it go. Complete to the edge, and a turn back inside by Coleman. And Kevin Coleman Jr. has Missouri inside the 30.
Boy, I love this. You get a bunch to the field there. You tuck Coleman as the inside receiver and have him on an out-breaking route.
And a spike to stop the clock at 19.
And an easy read there. You got two guys that are just running defenders off. That is a one-read type of throw. You guys running off on the outside. You got Coleman there. If he's not, then you got Norfleet. And see, the other two guys, they're not running routes. They're just running defenders off.
Coleman's a veteran receiver. Should he have peeled off out of bounds on that play instead of coming back to the inside?
You'd like him to stay on the run there for sure. You wouldn't have to waste. They wasted time.
They waste a spike.
A spike.
So you waste a down.
Yep.
If a down matters with 19 seconds, we'll see.
Which it doesn't really with that timeout in your pocket.
Zollers has time. Goes down the sideline. Leaping grab right at the pylon and incomplete to Manning. He was out of bounds.
And the coverage from Diego Brumfield. Manning just ran out of room. I think he was out of bounds. Yeah, out of bounds there. So great coverage by Brumfield using that sideline.
He would have been ineligible because he went out of bounds on his own. 10. Norfleet, big tight end in the slot on the left. Zollers has thrown 2 touchdowns tonight. Backtracking, lobs it, and out of bounds. And that's why you're a cheerleader.
But that is a great decision from the young quarterback. Getting rid of a few receivers so you don't get a penalty, and also if you take a sack there, you probably back yourself out of field goal range. So really good job of just making the decision, eating it and throwing it out.
There's a flag. It might be intentional.
See, I thought that was in the direction of a few guys, and that could be a runoff, so that could end the half. Boy, my eyes were telling me he was thrown in the direction of a few guys.
Missouri can avoid the run up by having a timeout to use.
Yeah, with the timeout. Let's watch the bottom of the screen there.
To
Got
avoid the
Illuminate down the
timeout,
sideline.
the 10-second runoff, Missouri has called their final timeout of the half.
I mean,
it's 8 yards away from the receiver. I see your point.
You know, I'm always trying to fight for quarterbacks' rights to protect themselves.
Quarterback homer.
The problem was that was just so far out of bounds.
Here's a problem for Eli Drinkwitz. He has not had a consistent kicker this season. His starter, Blake Craig, tore his ACL week 1. Oliver Robbins is a former NAIA kicker. And they elected to go for it last week instead of having him out there because, as Drinkwitz put it, it wasn't just a game situation, but also we didn't want to put him in such a high leverage situation because he's so inexperienced. 54-yard attempt for Robbins. First year in a Mizzou uniform. And that one is off the post. No good.
Boy, had the distance too. Struck that well. Boy, this one just trying to draw it in a little bit. It was starting that way, just not enough. Another few inches.
Doink. Empty possession for Mizzou.
And Mississippi State's just going to take a knee here out of shotgun.
I'd love to know how Jeff Levy solves some of the offensive issues, or at least tries to, by going to the grease board at the half using the iPad. That was last possession, specifically a very frustrating outing for a Mississippi State team which needs a win in the next 2 games to make it to the bowl. Cole Kublik has Eli Drinkwitz.
You laid out a couple things, Coach, to us yesterday that had to happen in this game. Quick throws, get it to your playmakers, run the football. You've done all of that. The only thing I'm wondering is, because effort, have you dropped that yet?
No, but what we got to continue to do is get Matt into some rhythm, stay out of the 3rd and longs. Really proud of our defense for what they did right there to get that big stop. Obviously, the miscue right there, we turned into 7. We get the ball to start the second half. We got to have a good drive right here.
Some personal fouls. How do you address that with your team at halftime?
Yeah, we just got to settle in emotionally. We'll be all right.
Thanks, Coach.
MIZ.
Missouri's had 5 personal fouls, 2 players ejected for targeting. But still, the home favorite leads 21-10 on this senior day. Now, Dari, allow those seniors to talk.
where it happens.
You're watching SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. This is Memorial Stadium, Columbia, Missouri, where the hometown Tigers are looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. 21-10 is the lead against Mississippi State at the half. Welcome back, everybody. Missouri's offense steadied with the run game behind Ahmad Hardy, who's 3 away from the century mark, and Jamal Roberts, who spelled him for 7 yards a carry. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik is down on the field, and that has allowed Matt Zollers to kind of avoid some of the pressure of being a 2-time freshman starter in this league.
Yeah, that's what we talked about in the open, right? Any young quarterback that struggled last week, just 7 of 22 against Texas A&M, needed the run game to get going. I'd say 134 yards in the first half. That's getting going, and he's just 6 of 10 passing the football, 2 touchdowns, the interception. They haven't really needed him, right? But he's been sharp when they've asked him to, but it's been the run game.
You always talk with your hands?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's been another frustrating evening for Mississippi State, including an empty 16-play possession that ended with a muff snap. Set Missouri up. Time for Read and React. It's the hottest show in college football. Monday nights on the SEC Network. Cole.
The stretch play is the foundation of this Missouri offense, and we had a heck of a run by Ahmad Hardy with it. Watch Brett Norfleet, the tight end. He's going to get the initial kick out, which is going to open up the first part of the seam. Connor Tollison is going to reach this almost 3. This is a difficult block to get that kind of width, get your hat across. There the seam opens up for Hardy to be able to cut back. Now, I'm not going to pretend like he just didn't bowl over a couple guys on his own, but excellent execution by Norfleet with that kick out, and then Tollison with the reach.
And Hardy again, stop and go. And he bursts forward for a first down and a gain of 13. He's over 100, averaging 10 yards a carry on 11 touches. Hardy again changing direction. His body control, the leans, the jump cuts, that's the difference between a guy picking up 2 yards or like that one picking up 6.
Yeah, the stop and starting from Hardy has been impressive, right? Just the patience, waiting for blocks to develop, but really the push up front has been fantastic. He's able to be patient because the Missouri offensive line is moving the line of scrimmage 2 or 3 yards downfield, seemingly on every single rushing play so far.
Hardy leads the country in 100-yard games. 2 tight ends to the right side for Missouri. Hardy again, and lost the football. Mississippi State covers it up. What a huge break for Mississippi State. Malik Silla, the Texas A&M transfer, ends up with the Bulldogs' second takeaway of the night.
And Hardy once again gets skinny through the hole here, and then as he's getting tackled, that ball,
it was already being ripped out before he got spun around, I believe. Travion Williams pulled it loose.
Yeah, Williams does a great job getting his right arm right on that ball. It's moving before Hardy's knee is down. Boy, a rare mistake from Hardy. That's exactly what Mississippi State needed. Right, they've actually controlled the time of possession. They got 40 plays in the first half to Missouri's, I think, 29 or so. They just weren't able to convert down in the red zone. Trying to get things going here as the second half starts. That's what they needed.
Blake Shapen is back in at quarterback for Mississippi State. He has shared time with Kamario Taylor.
First few plays here will give us an idea of how the conversations went in the locker room with Jeff Lebby and what they needed to change here to get things going in the second half.
They struggled in the goal-to-go situation late second quarter, and a handoff to Fluff Bothwell. Cole, what did you learn from Jeff Lebby about this quarterback situation?
Both quarterbacks going to play. He said situationally nothing really changes with that. And then I asked him about the quarterback runs and how heavy it was. And he said it's just what the defense is showing us in the box. It's a read the majority of the time, and Blake's going to keep it when he has those numbers.
Second down 4. And Devon Booth. That would suggest, by the way, of 3rd and 2 upcoming. that despite having an advantage with the numbers, Missouri's interior defensive line or defensive line as a whole is so good that they're still winning against the number.
No doubt. Yeah, and it's also the read for Chapin is on the outside. It's tough to throw that against press coverage.
Conversion by Booth, who finally gets wrestled down by Newsom.
So Chapin's coming to the line of scrimmage and saying, okay, do I have a numbers advantage outside? Is it 2-on-2? Is it 3-over-2? Whatever it is, it's tough to throw that ball into press coverage, so it's forcing the handoff and forcing the quarterback runs.
Chapin to the edge. Here's Anthony Evans. And Mississippi State, after the takeaway, has come out and pushed the ball downfield. Blake Chapin seems to be settling into a rhythm there. Booth picks up the first down. Remember that 16-play 7-minute drive that came up empty. That for Mississippi State followed the Zoller's interception. And now this following Missouri's second turnover of the night. Von Booth in the backfield with Blake Chapin. Slow played that one, and Booth over the left side gets a couple.
It's kind of an example of what you're talking about right there, Tom. I mean, you got good numbers right there in the run game. That's one that when Mississippi State offensive coaches go back and watch that, when Phil Lodeholt, the offensive line coach, they're going to be thinking they should have picked up more yardage.
On second down, Chapin connects in the perimeter to Anthony Evans, who picks up the first down. Wade loves it.
Boy, that's just a direct effect of the tempo. Dalen Carnell has been late getting the line to that slot receiver now a couple times in the last few plays. That time Chapin just tossed it out there with that numbers advantage that you mentioned, Cole.
Chapin, quick hitter. And again, hitting the perimeter. Sanfrisco McGee, the second catch of the season.
And this is what they had so much success in last week on the first drive against Georgia. When they get space at the line of scrimmage, they take that every single time. And right now, Missouri giving them that.
Chapin looks left. They run it straight ahead. And Von Booth is able to pick up the first down. All right, so here we go. Here's the test, because they had first and goal at the 2 in the second quarter and went backwards. Now first and goal from the 3. We'll see if the play calling has changed.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a quarterback run. I think this is either going to be a handoff or a quick throw to the perimeter.
You're wrong.
No.
QB draw. Chapin hits pay dirt.
What do I know?
They had 6 straight quarterback carries and got nothing out of it. And now Chapin with his second touchdown run of the night.
You know what that's called? Reverse psychology. Even Corey
Usually
Batoon,
we major in child psychology.
Yeah, Corey Batoon on the other side is going, no way they're coming back to it. No way they're coming back to it. And then you do get a lead blocker pulling around from the right side. Albert Reese, a veteran offensive lineman, back in the lineup, healthy, finally lead blocking there for Chapin.
Snap was better. Kyle Ferry punches it through. Missouri put it on the ground. Mississippi State caused it with a rip away by Travion Williams. And then the Bulldogs marched 10 plays for 52 yards to score.
chills a week ball one of these days.
Legends are made in that building right there.
We on a whole nother level. Bigger than ever we made. SEC champions.
Tom Hart alongside SEC legends Jordan Rogers and Cole Kublik. It's a 21-17 lead for Missouri. Why are you looking at me like that?
Very generous.
Good.
To add Cole into that.
No return for Mizzou. How's Matt Zollers look to you tonight?
I think he's looked really sharp, right? He's hung in the pocket a couple times. They haven't asked him to do a ton. He's taken free access when it's been there. Had the one throw down the field for the touchdown to Donovan Olubade.
Four of their first 9 plays went for 20 yards plus.
Yeah, it's been the run game. Why you wonder, after a couple runs on this drive, they haven't really tried a big play action to push the ball downfield. I got to think that's coming in the back of Kirby Moore's mind.
And a little play action with a rollout. Zollers finds Norfleet, and Norfleet, like a semi down I-70, picks up a first down. There's a flag on the far side.
Illegal block in the back on the offense number 2. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
That's the only time Marquise Johnson has had his number called tonight. He was the starting wide receiver first half of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be right there. Marquise Johnson was running a route and
barely touched him.
Yeah.
And I only say, not that it wasn't a foul, but
yeah, it's just you can't do that. Yeah, there's no need to do that. Norfleet's going down anyway. Just another mental mistake there.
So 1st and 15. Missouri hasn't been off schedule much tonight, and Ahmad Hardy will get him right back on schedule.
And a little gap scheme run here from Missouri. We had an interesting conversation with Eli Drinkwitz. Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. This is a team
Today's Saturday.
Yeah, their run game is really heavily zone based. A lot of zone, a lot of duo, outside, inside. But he mentioned this Mississippi State team has struggled with the gap scheme. So pin and pull schemes, getting linemen out on the edge, pulling from one side to the other, has had a lot of success against this state defense, and saw an example of it there.
On 2nd and 7, Hardy, he was shot out of a cannon, picks up a first down. Well, he hits max speed on about 2 steps. And another couple broken tackles.
Yeah, look at the wide angle, and you're going to see Nick Mitchell trying to cut this off. He just doesn't anticipate the speed there from Hardy. See how fast he hit that?
Norfleet again, 87.
Oh,
big block on the outside.
He's been so good on the front side of those zone schemes. You showed that on the touchdown run earlier, Cole, but what an addition it is to have him back and healthy for this rushing attack.
Missouri using the clock and going back to the run game again with Ahmad Hardy.
So, Tom, that's a stretch play, and it ends up cutting back a little bit, but I first saw them run that style of it against South Carolina earlier this season. And I texted Drink and I asked him, I said, are you guys doing like a speed stretch now? Because you brought it up. There's certain ones that Hardy will turn, and it's almost like he's full speed right out of the gate. And anybody who has lived and died on the stretch play will tell you the running back cannot take the ball and immediately go to full speed. You'll ruin it. But there are certain ones that they just think they can go ahead and get that corner, get that edge, and they want him to go ahead and just get to full speed and try to get outside.
So 2nd and 3 now. And Zollers wanting to throw. He's at Hardy out of the backfield, but got pressured. That's just a matter of being patient and waiting for that hole to open, or waiting for the hole more likely to develop?
I think sometimes if you're getting the overhang defenders playing back a little bit in the edges, so the defenders lined up outside the tight end or the tackle, if they're not playing you wide enough, you know you're going to get the reach
intentional
blocks.
Grounding on the offense number 5.
Jordan's going to have a reaction to this when Zollers is being pressured. And ball may have even gotten tipped coming out of his hand. Second time he's been flagged for intentional grounding tonight. How do you see it?
Yeah, I don't think this is a good call. He's really trying to throw this towards Brett Norfleet. Watch this right before the release. Look at the direction of the ball. Look at Norfleet. The ball's going to go in this direction. It's going to either get tipped or he's getting hit. So, but he's trying to throw that in the direction of Norfleet. Again, I'm not trying to be a quarterback apologist, but
it's kind of hard to throw the ball straight and on target when Calvin Deakins is throwing you back.
Exactly. That wasn't a clean pocket like him just trying to dirt the ball.
Well, penalties have piled up for Missouri tonight. Zollers evades a rush and unloads on that one.
That one just took off on Zollers. You can see the arm strength. I mean, the ball really jumps out of his hand. That time trying to fit it in a tight window downfield with the zone defender underneath that. Good thing that one sailed on him.
Anthony Evans to return for Mississippi State. Connor Wesselman. And it takes a state bounce. Wow. That thing really checked up. Comes all the way back out to the 45. Only a 22-yard punt after the backspin. Jesse Hall here on the campus of the University of Missouri.
Since 1927, when freshmen lined up rocks on a hillside of Faurot Field, the Rock M has been the bedrock of Missouri football. It's been MIA this season, but the very construction that displaced it will also ensure that the new Rock M will be the centerpiece of the new zoo.
That'd be really cool when they get it finished next year. This is a temporary Rock M for senior night that got thrown up on the bank behind the Missouri bench. Capacity this year under 58,000. Once they finish that, that'll grow to 65,000. Great job by Ryan. The pranksters from Nebraska came in one time and changed the M to an N. Missouri students had to quickly move it back before kickoff that day. That's where the M is going to go, and there'll be artificial turf around us. We go and sit on the hill, general mission once again. It was kind of hard back in the day, Jordan. As kids, we'd actually sit on those rocks. They're not really comfortable.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
No.
It's about as comfortable as the invitations to your party back in high school.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
You missed the dinner last night. We shared many a story. They're down 10. That was variable pricing, Cole. Shapen is 14 of 19 tonight. He's been pressured left and right. Five-man rush. He's pressured again. Third sack of the night for Missouri. Forrest Smith has been all over the place for the Tigers.
Yeah, but look at the left side. You got Zion Young rushing off this side. Devon Booth, you got to help chip, right? You got to at least have firm protection on one side. Obviously, the other side, Damon Wilson wins as well. But
he wasn't even looking there pre-snap.
That's what I mean. Like, you got to help him out. Get a little chip, get a little something, get in the way. You knew coming into this game the running backs were going to have to play a big part in protection, especially on 3rd and long there. Got to help these offensive linemen out.
Kevin Coleman Jr. nearly overran that one. 42-yard punt. Ethan Pulliam. 4-point Missouri lead. Cole, does this feel like a 4-point game to you?
Doesn't. Moment shifted to Mississippi State a few moments ago before that drive. Had just been absent and been on the Missouri sideline the entire time. And this is a 4-point ball game here. This is a tight game, and it's gotten a little flat, obviously, since we came back from halftime, but felt like Missouri has had more explosive plays, more big drives outside of the 115er for Mississippi State. Turnovers just killing the Tigers.
Yep. Zollers hands it off. And Ahmad Hardy over the left side. Hardy made himself at home here in Columbia. Didn't take long. He brought his horses with him. Parked them in a barn down Rock Quarry Road. You can get your horses to run Rock Quarry Road. You're doing something right. He said he got bucked off a horse when he was just a little kid. Took a couple years before his grandpa convinced him to get back on it. And it's amazing the number of football players that are also horse lovers. It's Travion Williams who forced the fumble, who was banged up.
I feel like there's a new one every year that we talk to.
Remember Devin White used to ride his on the levee at LSU. Here's Ahmad on his horse, Chaotic. He was telling us that down in Mississippi with all these guys riding horses and owning them, that they get together and race. Kind of like screaming down Business Loop 70 for pink slips. We're like, well, what is a pink slip for a horse? You like, you gonna win the other guy's horse or just cash?
Hopefully just cash, but
he was really excited. He talking about Xavier Legette has a horse named Dime Piece, and he's down there racing horses with these guys in Mississippi. 2nd and 6. Look at this cutback. Ahmad Hardy, hard to beat, and he is off to the races. Hardy with the cutback. Touchdown, Ahmad Hardy. 72 yards and a snow angel. Longest play of the year for the Missouri Tigers. If he was racing for slips, he would have won 11 of them on that one. Raced past the entire Mississippi State defense. And Ahmad Hardy has 225 rushing yards tonight, averaging 13 yards a carry.
Boy, this is the vision that we talked about. Ahmad Hardy is going to press this run front side. He's going to be patient, stick his foot in the ground, get all the way backside. Hunter Washington didn't have contain on the backside. You cannot give Ahmad Hardy a blade of grass. He will make you pay.
Ahmad Hardy has turned in his 4th 200-yard effort in his career. He's gone for 2 1/4 tonight with a couple of touchdowns. He gets 14 rushing touchdowns on the season for the sophomore out of Oma, Mississippi. I said, it seems like a small town. He goes, yeah, we got Aunt Bertha's Cafe right there on Highway 27. That's good eating. I'm not sure they have a stoplight.
What do you think Aunt Bertha's specialty is there?
Club sandwich. You remember this guy? 2015, Dak Prescott. What's he up to these days? On a cold, rainy November afternoon, he accounted for 4 touchdowns, threw for 300. Became the 10th player in SEC history with 10,000 yards of total offense, not in one game. And the 6th in conference history to count for 100 touchdowns.
That's pretty good.
Cole, what are your memories of Dak at Mississippi State?
Honestly, the thing that I remember the most about him is how he went from a great football player to a great quarterback during his time. He was
False start on the offense, number 77. That's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains first down.
He kind of started as a power back playing quarterback. Didn't really have the touch. Didn't throw a great ball. And as time went on, with he and Dan Mullen working that system, he became one of the better quarterbacks in college football his last 2 years.
I think about the economic impact he had on Starkville. You know, one that long after that they decided to invest in the stadium, and then so many other things popped up around there. Bobbled, attempt, scooped up by Pride. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Missouri. 18-yard return for Toriano Pride Jr. That is 70 yards of returns for the senior from St. Louis.
A really good play initially by Dalen Carnell to get his hands on Anthony Evans. Evans does a great job of actually closing and coming back to the ball, just not able to initially catch it. It bobbles around, and then Toriano Pride again on the positive end of a wacky play. Obviously had the big return on the bad snap on the field goal, and now a gift.
There's a flag down on the point after. Pride is a product of the east side. He also went to Vianney and Lutheran North, but he played in the All-American Bowl in his high school days and won a state championship with Cody Schrader, Lutheran North. And he really wasn't much of an impact player the last 2 weeks. Last 2 games for Missouri. He's impacted this one.
Offside on the defense in the neutral zone at the snap, number 4. That penalty has been declined.
It's a great job just staying with it. But again, Evans does a great job of coming back to the football. Carnell obviously there right as the ball gets there. Evans not able to come down with it. And Corey Batoon, the defensive coordinator, loves it.
Corey Batoon knows about big wins. His dad was an assistant basketball coach at Chaminade when they knocked off #1 Virginia and Ralph Sampson back in the early 80s, and he loves talking about his dad's influence on his coaching career. He was a ball boy for Chaminade in Hawaii and ended up sitting in the stands for that big upset. Missouri defense has been sensational all year. Top 10 scoring defense. Or pardon me, top 10 defense overall. 9th against the pass. Another returnable kick. And Devon Both gets hammered. It's a freshman tight end, James, and Missouri is playing with all sorts of confidence right now. Jude James with the hit. Let's get you to the studio. Wow. Here's Traore, the tight end. Pardon me. Yeah, Traore broke free after a would-be tackle and picked up the first down. Kirby in his bag tonight.
Love it. How about last week when we saw him against Mississippi State, running the punt team on and then off and the offense back on? I mean, there's been some really elite coaching decisions by Kirby Smart last couple weeks.
I think about that kind of stuff, whether it's the onside kick or the special teams. It's not just the decisions, but the coaching during the week that allows you to execute that stuff.
Yeah, because you got to have the whole offense there ready to run the punt team off and them on and have a play or a plan, and then obviously the onside kick, executing it, when to execute it, how to hide it. That's why they practice so much, Tom.
Thank you. I was wondering why they spent so much time out there.
Maybe we should practice a little more. Why don't we practice?
Yeah, we don't have time.
We just roll it out on Saturdays, you know.
Eli Drinkwitz is banging for an intentional grounding call. He is 10 yards on the field. His guy's been flagged for it twice. Chapin never left the pocket.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. The receiver broke off the route when the ball was in the air. It's second down.
And that's the right call. The receiver at the top is going to have a two-way go. He's going to be able to either run. He should be running a go route. This is the right one by Chapin. If it's off-zone coverage, then Aiden Williams can run that hitch route. If it's press man coverage, you go. So Chapin's obviously thinking he was going to go down the sideline.
That one was tipped.
So that is the correct call. That is not grounding. That's a miscommunication. But then again, Eli's like, well, I mean, you've called a couple bad ones on us. Like,
Eli Drinkwitz is a showman. He wasn't going to let that pass, even if he knew it was the right call. State 3 of 10 on third downs tonight. Trying to return to the postseason for the first time since Mike Leach led them there. His last year. No pressure. Chapin lets it go. Hung up and caught by Anthony Evans. Beautiful touch by Blake Chapin. And they're trying to get the deep ball going. They finally got one to hit.
Yeah, it's a great job. Got Anthony Evans working on Santana Banner. Banner's in good position. Tries to turn for the ball. It's such a good catch by Anthony Evans, and a great throw under pressure from Blake Chapin. A good job putting enough air on it that Evans was able to adjust.
Chapin fires incomplete. Aiden Williams, the intended receiver, he was guarded by Stephen Hall.
Prior to the pass being thrown, holding on the defense number 0. The penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the previous spot and carries an automatic first down.
Hall had a fistful of jersey, and that one 10th flag against Mizzou.
Yeah, Aiden Williams working on slant here, wins the inside, and that left arm all over the shoulder pad from Stephen Hall. It's a good call. How many flags have we had today?
922.
All of them. What do you think? Quarterback draw? I mean, it's a great look for it. There's nobody at the second level.
Just the thought of it is ridiculous. Chapin hands it off, and Fluff Bothwell picks up a foot, maybe. Originally nicknamed Fluffy. His mom gave him that nickname, and then Dad said, we're gonna have to make this just slightly more tough. We'll drop the Y and just stick with Fluff. Got the DJ from Fieldhouse to show up. Second and goal. Quarterback draw. Chapin folded over, and they'll have third and goal from just outside the 2.
And Kamario Taylor is going to come into the game here at quarterback. Blake Chapin trots off.
Been a minute since we saw Taylor. I don't think he's played since early second quarter.
Yeah.
Fires a strike. It's across the goal line and in for Seydou Traoré. 3-yard touchdown pass.
Love the adjustment. Right? Last time they were down there with Camario Taylor, it was draw, quarterback power between the tackles, and what did I say? Get him outside the pocket. Right? Get him on the edge. If there's a quick throw there, which they ended up getting to Traoré, great throw, bringing Traoré from one side to the other. But if that wasn't there, then at least you give Taylor a chance on the edge to use his physicality and speed. But great play call there and great adjustment from what we saw earlier in the first half.
Barry bangs it through. Let's get it to our friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
The only thing better than Thanksgiving is deep fried Thanksgiving. It's good.
35-24, Mizzou leads Mississippi State. Cole, did you like that play call?
Yeah, we've been talking about trying to get the pocket moved just a little bit and take advantage of the legs, but not necessarily into the teeth of that defense. And I'm going to tell you guys right there, that throw, I've been watching Camario Taylor in between series when the quarterbacks come out and warm up, watching him pregame, absolute cannon for a right arm.
I was standing down there with Eli,
what's his name? Yeah.
Watching. I almost said Kirby Moore. Down there with Eli watching, he was going, wow. I mean, we were both looking at Camario Taylor throw the ball, go, this kid's got a ton of talent.
Kick driven out of the back of the end zone. Let's take a look at our high-speed highlights. Brought to you by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet.
Well, it's been Ahmad Hardy. It's been the Ahmad Hardy show tonight. On the ground, 225 yards. It's been the patient and the burst. The patience to wait for the hole to open up, the burst to get north and south, the physicality that we know he has to run through defenders. Like that touchdown run right there. And the long one that we just saw. For a guy that is 210, 215 pounds, man, he's got some breakaway speed too.
Is there a coach in America that has a better hit rate on transfer portal position than Drinkwitz and running back?
Well, I would say it's not just the portal, right? It's zero-star recruits. Cody Schrader led the league in rushing, coming from Division II. Hardy is now the only FBS player with multiple 200-yard rushing games.
Nate Noel last year from App.
Yeah. Well, not to be unfair to any of those individual players, but how much is it the player and how much is it the system?
There have been some backs that have been forced into stretch systems that didn't get it, didn't see it, didn't know how to operate.
It's more of a fit.
Yes.
It's not just talent, but also fit.
Would Kewan Lacey be part of that fit?
Well,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not able to get going here last year, and now he's
at over 200 yards today.
I think Kewan Lacey could run the wing tee, the triple option. I mean, that dude just finds yards. I mean, I think he could run just about anything.
The scary part is, and I remember your reaction, Cole, when we were talking with Ahmad earlier this season, and he said he still has a chip on his shoulder. 3rd down 4, he said, I think other players look at me and roll their eyes and go, he's not an SEC back. I think he's proven it. He might not be. He might be an NFL back. That ball knocked away at the line of scrimmage, and Zachary Tillman was able to get pressure. Now Missouri's going to have to punt it away again.
Zollers does a good job hanging in the pocket here, but it's a better job by Tillman to know he's not going to get there, but get your hands up, try to get in the way. And what felt like a game that was getting out of hand now all of a sudden feels like momentum has flipped back to Mississippi State.
State's defense has stood tall. You take the turnovers away, much different game. 46-yard punt. Missouri with the pick 6 right after the big run from Ahmad Hardy. Now Blake Shapen goes back to work.
And in a day and age where everybody's focused on the college football playoff, you forget just how much bowl games still mean to teams. I mean, this was a Mississippi State team that was 2-10 last year in Jeff Lebby's first year. And they've been so close in so many games, big games against SEC opponents this year. Able to break through in a tight one against Arkansas. You felt like the confidence had kind of started to change. They started to learn how to win these close games late in games, and then Georgia was just a buzzsaw. We're seeing that today as they're up now 28-10 on Texas.
Well, the camaraderie was very intentional by Blake Shapen and the other leaders on this team. They worked at it because they knew the value of it. Here's Devon Booth. He was telling us yesterday that they had a break 5 days before camp. He drove back to Shreveport, and on the drive, he called Jeff Levy. He said, I want to institute something new. We want to start having player-only meetings where we just get up and talk about life. We talk about everything, both inside and outside football. He said that first meeting, I allowed myself to be vulnerable. I got up there in front of the entire team, and I talked about my journey and the disappointments of it. Said I sat down and it took a minute, and then the next guy got up and he talked about what's important to him. And he said then learning what everybody has going on in their life made us better teammates. It made us better as a collective unit. And I thought it was a very mature approach from Blake Shape and the rest of the leaders on this Mississippi State team. Now 3rd and 7. Shapen needs a conversion to keep the drive going. The line holds. It is incomplete. Off the hands of Jordan Mosley.
Boy, good protection. I love the route combination. They get Mosley on a little bit of an angle route with the defender on the back hip. The ball is right on the money. It's tight coverage. Mosley just not able to bring it down.
Kevin Coleman Jr. back to return. 4th punt of the night for Ethan Pulliam, the lefty. And a fair catch taken at the 33. 41-yard punt. Nearly to the end of the 3rd quarter. And once again, Mississippi State needs to find one more win in 2 tries. They are off next week. And they'll take on an Ole Miss team. Both Ole Miss and State have next week off, right?
Yeah.
And so Ole Miss will go in there with momentum after taking care of Florida tonight and with a CFP berth in Lane Kiffin's sights.
That was a close one, though, with Florida.
Florida has gotten up for the big opponents.
Yeah. Yeah, they got enough talent that when they decide they want to show up and focus on a game, they're tough to beat. Obviously, they didn't do that against Kentucky, but the week before against Georgia, they did.
10-point win for Ole Miss tonight. Already gets, Roberts gets spun around and dropped. And Tony Mitchell in on that stop. That'll take us to the 4th quarter here in Columbia, Missouri, where the Tigers of Mizzou looking to snap a 2-game losing streak, trying to close this one out.
Look at that, conic columns here. They look equidistant, right? Equidistant, but do you know which two are the farthest apart from each other?
I have no idea.
The ones on the ends. Blake Shapen has taken 3 sacks tonight. Ahmad Hardy has run for 2 1/4. And on the warmest November 15th in Columbia, Missouri history, we roll on to the 4th quarter. Set a record today.
Wow.
.11 Mizzou lead. Tigers with the football. They've gone 3 and out last couple of possessions on 2nd and long. Zollers delivers and through the hands of Hardy. This Missouri offense has been stuck in neutral the last few possessions.
This is not where they want to be in 3rd and long.
It's Kirby Moore on the walkie-talkie.
Mississippi State's showing pressure down there at the bottom. Let's see if they check out of it. Yeah, they do.
Coleman in motion. Hit him on the edge. Get a couple blockers. And he gets through to the 40. But Missouri will have to punt it away.
Well, that's the tough part. You see blitz, so you check to a little screen away, but then Mississippi State checks out of their blitz, and so they got eyes on you and numbers on the outside. And I think this is where you're starting to see that they're being careful with Matt Zollers here in the 2nd half. They know they have a lead. They're not asking him to do too much. They don't want him to, throw the ball to Mississippi State and completely change the complexion of this game. But at some point, you got to let him play the quarterback position. Take a little bit of risk. Otherwise, you're going to just keep letting Mississippi State have more opportunities to get back in this game.
That was a big league punt from Connor Wesselman, 48 yards and plenty of hang time. It'll be a long field for State, less than a minute into the 4th quarter. Ball will be spotted at the 12.
Well, we still really haven't seen Mississippi State and Blake Shapen take that deep shot either. We saw one down the sideline to Anthony Evans, but we said it before in the broadcast. Brendan Thompson is the fastest wide receiver in all of college football. We saw him get over the top against Georgia. That was Kamario Taylor on the on the delivering end of that, not Blake Shapen. But at some point, you think they're going to give Brendan Thompson an opportunity to run by one of these defenders. Not on the field right now for Mississippi State.
Traore's been reliable, and that one's out to Bothwell. Up to the 18.
I'd say Blake Shapen just took another big hit there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cole.
I did want to ask Jordan, because you get your stats on speed from telemetry, that Nick Harbor touchdown today. Do you think that changes?
That's going to be close, because Brendan Thompson is just 0.2 miles per hour faster than Nick Harbor, who would be the 2nd fastest.
And I feel like that's the first time we've seen him really be able to open it up in a game.
I agree. I feel like he probably hit 23 on that one.
Dalen Hopkins, a late sub for Missouri. Shapen has it batted away as Nicholas Rodriguez got his hands on it.
It's a great job by Rodriguez, just reading the eyes of Blake Shapen. Playing off the ball, seeing it the whole way. And just playing volleyball at the net with that one.
They're down for Mississippi State. 3 of 5 in the 2nd half on 3rd down. Shapen throws it wide, incomplete, looking for Anthony Evans.
Boy, that's the respect that Jeff Lebby has for this pass rush for Missouri. Zion Williams on one side, Damon Wilson on the other. You just don't have a lot of time to push the ball downfield. And they are staying out there now on 4th down.
You wonder if you knew you were doing this on that play call on 3rd down.
Or you wonder if they're just going to try to get him to jump off sides, but you also wouldn't want to waste a timeout after that.
So they'll go with it. Shapen shuffles out of the pocket as a flag down. It's intercepted again. Marvin Burks Jr. Second pick six of the night for the Missouri defense.
Holding on the offense, number 76. That penalty is declined. The resulting play is a touchdown.
And the holding call was on Albert Reese, who's now bounced out at right tackle after starting the game at left guard. This ball is just thrown too late from Blake Shapen. He's going to drift left, trying to buy time. This ball's got to be thrown now. Holds it just a second longer, trying to fit it into an even tighter window with Banner in coverage. And Marvin Burks tips and overthrows. Defenses love those. Another massive play by this Missouri defense.
Burks was originally an Ole Miss recruit coming out of Cardinal Ritter in St. Louis. Tigers flipped him. He's a four-star recruit. Point after is good. 28-yard return for Marvin Burks Jr., his first pick of the season. And number 1 turns it into 6.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Well, we welcome those of you who have been watching Georgia blow out Texas. Dogs 4 for 4 in the red zone tonight. Gunnar Stockton with a touchdown run. That thing's on ice.
How about the way Georgia has closed games all year? You think back to the Ole Miss game. They went on a 17-0 run. Ole Miss had like a couple yards, I think, in the fourth quarter, if that. This game looked real close as Texas clawed back in it. Georgia has just blown the doors open.
Just as Arch seemed to have some momentum.
Yeah.
Even in those games for Georgia, they weren't a blowout. You think about Tennessee game.
Yeah.
Vols hanging, slam the door on them. Florida game, Gators hanging, slam the door on them. They've been a great second half, specifically fourth quarter team this year.
Jeff Levy's team has had some struggles tonight. Fumbled the field goal attempt. They've thrown 2 pick sixes.
Missouri's turned in 21 points off of turnovers. Even a long night at Dave's Dark Horse Tavern couldn't numb the pain that Mississippi State has had. So many big opportunities, and now outside of a fourth quarter comeback, they're going to go into the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving Friday, needing to knock off their rivals to qualify for a bowl game. Cannon Boone is the injured offensive lineman. The trainer says, hold on, no, don't be a hero, just go down, we'll get some time to talk about it. He's the only Mississippi State offensive lineman that has started every game in the same position. 6 different O-line combos for the Bulldogs this year.
And they've had to move guys around within this game as well. I mentioned Albert Reese back from injury, started the game at left guard, bumped out to right tackle. Now Cannon Boone going down. That's been part of the problem for this team for a number of weeks. And their inability to push the ball downfield, just haven't had enough time for Blake Shapen from a protection standpoint.
And so Boone will be helped off the field, and you feel for Jeff Levy. This program is so close, and a big part of his upbringing was playing for his dad in high school. He and his brother are on the same high school team, Cole, and that has shaped who he is as a coach.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and he told us yesterday when we visited with him that he was essentially his role model and kind of learned how to do the most important things as a coach, and that was connect. And by connecting to your players, you got to care about your players. That's the main thing that I look at with this football team. Last year, this year, I said it over in the broadcast. You put the film on of these guys, down 30, winless in the SEC. They're still out there just playing hard, playing like their hair's on fire. And I think they do it because their coach cares about them. And he's gotten his staff to buy into that as well. And I was talking to his wife when we were in College Station, Staley. And I said, how much do you think that he actually gets from his dad? And she goes, oh, he is his dad. That's him. And then Sean Williams, who played running back at Alabama, the strength coach from Mississippi State, kind of asked him the same question because they played on the team together, grew up together. Levy told us yesterday they were at houses together, hanging out all the time. And he said, there are times I'll look over at him in practice, and I think it's his dad. The mannerisms are exactly the same. The way he stands are exactly the same. So obviously had a massive impact on not just his life, but his career as a head coach.
2 flags down on that play. One will be holding on State in the backfield. Another one is on the perimeter where that ball was received by Anthony Evans III. Ineligible, so both go against State.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the offense. Ineligible player downfield. That penalty has been declined. Holding on the offense, number 77. That penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the previous spot with a replay of first down.
Yeah, Zion Young is just going to beat Javen James on the left side.
It's a 3rd flag on James tonight.
Yeah, with a speed rush. I mean, there's nothing you can do here. That's the speed and power off the edge from Young, and he just tries to get a little tug in to see if he can protect his quarterback. Tugging on the jersey there. I didn't see a lineman that far downfield, though.
No, it's not a happy ending for Mississippi State regardless, because now they're stuck with 1st and 20. Sometimes you aim for Dave's Dark Horse Tavern. Sometimes you end up in the Red Roof Inn.
Is that the place Jordan played the cymbals?
No, that was Shiloh. That was here in Columbia.
Oh, God.
Dave's is in Starkville.
That was
sharing
fun.
parking lot with the hotel. Yeah,
the whole band came in.
Our server last night was actually on the Missouri drum line. We thought about showing him the video of you playing the cymbals. Shapen taken down from behind, the ball ended up at the feet of Bothwell.
And Jordan made me delete that.
I still got it.
Was I standing on a table?
You were standing on a table, yeah. You'd had a bucket of White Claws at the bowling alley, which is not something that happens all the time.
But it's sure fun when it does.
Town and country lanes. I'm not sure if we were in town or in the country.
We're definitely out of the lanes.
Yeah, that's for sure. Blake Shapen has been turned into a human pinata tonight. And 3rd down, he's protected well enough to deliver a strike. They thought it was incomplete. Instead, it's Aiden Williams who hauled it in just before going across the sideline.
I'm not sure Williams was able to get his right foot in this one. It's a great effort, but that right foot, did it come down? Left foot, I don't know if it did. Talking about this one.
The ruling on the field is a catch. That play is now under video review.
The left foot is down, but I'm not sure he had possession of the football while that left foot was down, and then the right foot hovers. Let's see here. So left foot's down here. Does he have possession, or does that come up? Well, in his hands. Is that toe still down? The right foot definitely doesn't come down in bounds. So
yeah, and to your point about the second part of it, did he drag the left foot before the right one came down out of bounds? If he didn't have possession there, or wasn't in contact with the ground.
Yeah. Is the right foot down there? This is going to be tight. I think he might have it. I think one of those toes is down. Is it touching a blade of artificial turf? What do you think? You're the analyst.
My wallet appreciates.
I think it's going to be a catch. I think that the ball is in his hands there.
Okay, good enough for you. Good enough for me.
One of those toes is down in the green. That's a heck of an effort. Call it a catch. Let's move on.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It is 4th down.
So you were right.
So it was a catch, but your reward, it's still 4th down. Obviously, Mississippi State's going to leave the offense out there. 4th and 4. Brennan Thompson has not been in the game for a few drives now.
He's out for the game. We just learned from Cole. Lower body injury. So they won't get him back. That is a big loss for a team trying to mount a comeback. Chapin fires incomplete at the feet of Bothwell again. Darius Smith was chasing him down. 42-24, Missouri with the lead. Take a look at Fansville, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It is senior night tonight in Columbia. Tristan Newsom, the youngster, looking sharp. Here's Dre Norwood. Hugs from Eli and mesh jersey. Dalen Carnell playing in his last home game as a Tiger. Logan Muckey. Look at those Mizzou cufflinks as a kid.
Destined.
And the Renegade Rumble champion in 5th grade, Connor Tollison from down in Jackson, Missouri. I would have had no chance to affix cufflinks when I was that age.
No. You still struggle.
I do. Bread ties work nice, by the way. You just a little wiry thing, just put it through there. It's one way to do it. 1st and 10. Ahmad Hardy bends it back to the near side. He is something special, folks. Ahmad Hardy has a hat trick. 43-yard touchdown run. Carries 268 yards.
It is really hard to explain just how good the vision and the cut is on this run, just like it was on the other long touchdown run. That is one special player. Ahmad Hardy now with 268 yards on the night.
Going hairy ice on him tonight. Missouri has doubled up +1 on Mississippi State.
Well, this play is supposed to go wide to the left. His aiming point is outside the left tackle. He bends it all the way back across. Jerron Manning backside, just not expecting the speed and the vision from Ahmad Hardy. Almost identical to the long run he had earlier. Outside zone to the left, cuts it all the way back to the right.
The thing is, Jordan, usually when the outside zone play cuts all the way back off the backside tackle, it's north and south, barely off that backside tackle.
You're right.
Not like angled to the opposite sideline like he's done, you said, twice tonight for 2 big touchdown runs. It's just super impressive.
268 yards is the most in FBS this season by 1 yard. Over O.J. Arnold of Georgia Southern, who went for 267 against the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina today.
He's not done. There's 11 minutes left in this game. He might be going for 3 bills.
Not bad for a dude who played at Lawrence County High School, tucked away in the backwoods of Mississippi, was hardly recruited. That's a live ball and finally covered up by Devon Booth.
I think we're going to see Camario Taylor here maybe the rest of the way for Mississippi State. Another good opportunity to get your young talented quarterback out there with some live meaningful reps here late in the game. And Jeff Levy so excited about this kid's future, but very intentional about his development.
Yeah.
Again, with this game out of hand, you still have an opportunity to get him some reps and some real game experience.
Last week against Georgia, he led a pair of second-half touchdown drives. He ended up with 3 rushing touchdowns, the most for a state player since Nicky Fitzgerald did that in 18. Taylor avoids the rush, slings it out, and is able to find Devon Booth. Booth is elusive enough to turn this into a 7-yard pickup.
Well, and remember the Arkansas game where Chapin was knocked out. He led back-to-back touchdown drives. They don't win that game if he doesn't step in and step up to the plate.
Yeah, 2 touchdown drives and 3 possessions against the Hogs to end the long SEC losing streak, and finds his tight end. Cole?
I got a question for you guys. Is this the tallest mascot you've ever seen? I mean, I'm 6'3".
Are you?
Maybe 6'4" with the Hokas on, but yeah, I don't know. Like, this is power forward mascot?
I like the fact that Bully is following the trend, and instead of wearing football pants, he's wearing football shorts. Like, can we get him to cover the
knee
knees?
pads for Bully.
No one covers the knees anymore.
like
Holding
a
on
Mississippi
the
State
offense, number
baseball.
75.
Bully's rocking the
That's
same
a 10-yard
haircut as
penalty
Cole,
from the
too.
previous
Heck yeah.
spot. Replay first down.
Bully seems relentlessly positive, even despite the fact that oh no, now he's scared. Oh, now he's happy. So many emotions for a guy who doesn't have eyebrows.
I was just appreciate he's wearing an offensive lineman's number.
That's a good point. What other tall mascots are out there?
The Demon Deacon from Wake Forest is very tall.
Big hat.
Yeah.
The Commodore, he's got big arms, but he's not super tall. He's got a big hat as well.
I feel like that Purdue guy's got a big long head.
Yeah.
Cole, I think I'm more comfortable with you standing next to Bully instead of Truman, because Truman's not wearing pants. Now he wants to wear a security jacket, but he's got a jersey and no pants.
It must be a Missouri grad thing.
Huh.
I bet the Stanford tree is pretty tall, pointy.
Yeah. Handoff. Xavier Gayton with the carry for Mississippi State. Have we exhausted all of our quarterback thoughts? Our mascot thoughts?
Thinking. Who else we got? Oh, the Seminoles. I mean, if you're counting the horse, he's pretty high up there. What? No?
Wide open up the sideline and a nice little shake to pick up the first down. San Frisco McGee. Our producer, Kevin Clark, his favorite mascot is the Cubs mascot, Clark. I don't think he wears pants either. Just a jersey.
Illegal substitution on the defense. They played with 12 players. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
What do you mean? That's against the rules? K-State mascot, I think it's Willie. He wears shoulder pads.
Okay.
That's a little much for me. You're not getting in the game.
You never know. I mean,
you have 12 guys.
Yeah, Missouri just tried to put 12 out there.
Four-man rush. Demario Taylor gets taken down. Another sack for the Missouri defense. Sack number 4 tonight. Zion Young, senior from Atlanta by way of Michigan State, is in on that one.
Yeah, how many times have we seen Zion Young win with the speed rush tonight? That time loops around to the B gap and just blows up the middle of the pocket.
We had a fun chat with Eli Drinkwitz about Zion yesterday. Cole said, well, give us a background. What's the story? He goes, the story is he sat in my office, said he was coming to Missouri, and the next day he committed to Michigan State. Then he came back. Second and long. Gayton with the run.
I loved how Eli just lit up talking about him before overtime at Auburn a couple weeks ago. And then essentially doing every single thing that he said he was going to do right there at the coin toss.
Yeah, he spoke over an open mic and promised. What did he say, Cole? Remember?
I think he said this maybe take overtime.
Third and a Voss. And Taylor goes over the middle and nobody there except black shirts, but a flag. And they're going to get Missouri for pass interference on Anthony Evans at third. Yeah, Young had 3 huge
Pass
plays in
interference
overtime.
on the defense number 4. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot, and it carries an automatic first down.
It's just cover 2, and Trajan Greco is running down the middle of the field, doesn't have vision on where that ball is. Runs right into Anthony Evans.
After the penalty.
Eli doesn't like it.
First down, 10.
So State crosses midfield. 11 flags against Missouri tonight. Demario Taylor slices the defense with a run right up the gut and picks up a first down. Gain of 18.
Great identification there by the young quarterback, realizing blitz came and nobody else had eyes on him.
Those who just flipped over from Georgia knocking off Texas 35-10. Missouri has taken control of a couple of pick sixes in this game. Mississippi State aiming for the postseason. I know this sounds ridiculous, but it's been a ridiculous football season so far. nothing is decided. Missouri is a 3-loss team, and Missouri is a 3-loss team. And with some chaos, our ESPN research team says there's still a percentage chance that Missouri could qualify for the postseason, or the college football playoff, sorry, to be specific.
Well, especially because of who they have next week.
Yeah, they'll go to Norman and take on their old Big 6, and Big 7, and Big 8 for Oklahoma.
Oklahoma will be a top 10 team.
And on top of that, they're trending towards having Bo Prabula back for that game. Eli telling us yesterday he's 2.5 weeks ahead of his recovery. Had a fractured ankle in the Vanderbilt game, and he told us only 1% of these fractured ankles don't require surgery. And you usually see them in Taekwondo injuries. That's his breadth of knowledge, knowing about Taekwondo injury. There's a chance Bo would have been available in an emergency situation tonight. He did not dress out. He wasn't out there for warm-ups. There's a run off the right side.
He said they did put Bo through about a 30-35 play script, like a game type situation script. He said he looked really good, but around play 20 or so, the ankle started bothering him a little bit. You see him going through warm-ups earlier tonight. Ankle taped up heavily, but good sign to see him testing it out, jogging around. Looks pretty good for me. Having a dislocated ankle just a few weeks ago.
Missouri had a thrilling game with Oklahoma here at Faurot Field last year. Jackson Arnold scored on a late touchdown, a throwback for OU. Then Missouri got a fumble return for a score, I believe. Gracial has helped to his feet. They have played some big games in their series rivalry. They play for the Peace Pipe. Nobody knows where the Peace Pipe is.
It's lost?
It's lost to history, and maybe in a storage closet somewhere.
Nothing better than trinket games. Do you know how the Field Phone Trophy got started, Tom?
It was Missouri, Iowa State, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they played for a old rotary phone because the phones went down in the game for one side, and the other side, being a good sport, said, well, then we won't use our phones to call in plays either.
They were using phones to call in plays?
Yeah. Well, to call up, talk to the coordinator or whatever it was, not to call in plays. I misspoke on that one.
I used to get on the phone. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that, I came to the bench and grabbed one of those phones. Didn't have a headset.
People watching tonight don't know how to use a rotary phone. Those are touch tones.
Those are relics as well, though.
Third down 9. Camario Taylor and Mississippi State. And Taylor swallowed up again. It's another sack for Missouri's defense. 5th of the night for Mizzou.
The initial pressure off the left side once again. This time it was Damon Wilson that caused Camario Taylor to have to step up.
And Javen Q. James is the injured Mississippi State player. Cole, did you stop in front of the trophies and read that history yesterday?
Well, the first thing I saw was a Lamar Hunt trophy, and I had no idea Missouri won the AFC championship. And then I saw the Field Phone trophy, so I just tried to do a little investigating. It's interesting that Mizzou had those trophies. I had not heard of the Field Phone trophy before, so I love trinket games. Wagon wheels and axes and spittoons.
Yeah. Pigs, pig statues.
Golden boots.
I went to LSU today in a tight one with Arkansas. We'll be at LSU next week for the big rivalry game against Western Kentucky.
Hey, Brutus, a pretty tall mascot as well.
You are 15 minutes late on this. Who texted you that? Are you just Googling tall mascots?
I just started Googling it.
That guy's a nut.
Big stuff from Winthrop University, 6'2", they list him at. But is that before the suit's on?
To have a tall mascot, you have to have a tall person inside the mascot costume. Here's Ferry to attempt a 41-yard field goal. Myers the snapper, and the hold is clean. And he put that one right down the Ferry. Ferry put it right down the Ferry. I don't know. Pistol Pete has a big hat.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. If you didn't know T-Mobile has home internet, you do now.
Ahmad Hardy has the fourth most rushing yards in a game for Missouri in program history, behind Devin West against Kansas, Brad Smith against Texas Tech, and Tony Temple against Arkansas. He's the only player in the FBS this year to have two 250-plus rushing yards and 3 touchdown games. What a portal pickup Ahmad Hardy was for this Missouri program under Eli Drinkwitz, who last year went 7-0, 2-23, pardon me, 4-2 against ranked opponents, finished 9th in the final year of the 4-team college football playoff. They would have been in it any other year, but last 2 seasons just 1-6 against top 25 opponents, 15-0 against unranked. Talking to Eli Drinkwitz yesterday about the future of this program, and I asked him directly, with all these jobs open, this was the lead-in, and certainly his name is on some short lists. I said, what are you looking for? Is it about the money individually? He said, no, I've got the money. It's about alignment. It's about getting people invested in the program. It's about getting the Fortune 500 companies in this state to get behind us. He said, we've got all these Fortune 500 companies, not a single one advertises in this building. That was a little bit surprising. And that's the kind of alignment you need to continue to be able to recruit and get your payroll. To be honest, that's what it is. Get your payroll to a point to recruit the best talent to allow you to have success in a league like the SEC and therefore college football.
Well, they're going to have a lot more real estate for some of those big companies to advertise here in the stadium once this, what is this?
North end zone.
North end zone gets done. You know, Sparty is a pretty tall mascot as well. He's got the helmet with the, you know, the thing down the middle.
Sparty is listed as 9 feet 7 inches tall. Boss Hogg at Arkansas comes in at 9 feet tall.
That's one I didn't think about. Yeah, that's a good one as well.
Third and a long 2. Matt Zollers. Missouri has 2 walk-on quarterbacks behind Zollers. And a fresh set of downs on the Ahmad Hardy run. You think they're trying to get Hardy to 300?
I would.
Missouri's only had 1 running back go for 300 in their program history. That was former Moberly Spartan Devin West doing it against hated Kansas in 1998. He rushed for a school record 319.
Well, he came into the game 3rd in the FBS with 1,046 yards. He's got a good chance to be leading it after this.
Looking for another long one. In all of Southeastern Conference history, there have only been 5 300-yard rushing games.
Is that our cue to attempt to guess them?
No, I don't have them in front of me.
Got it.
But I will shortly. Do you have a guess?
I'll say Trey Mason Auburn in the SEC championship game. I don't know if it got to 3, but it felt like it.
Yeah, you would be right. That was against Missouri. And well, I thought he was going to lose yardage, and he eventually will, but it took 6 dudes to bring him down. We're going to pay some bills. Before we do that, be amazed by Ahmad Hardy. 281 yards on the ground tonight for Missouri.
coming out of the 2-minute timeout. Matt Zollers and Mizzou looking at a 3rd and 8. Ahmad Hardy bounces to the outside, takes it past midfield, and he cuts it back to get down to the 42-yard line. 25 carries, 301.
That is truly unbelievable, averaging 12 yards a carry tonight. Like you're looking at the best running back in the country.
Curtis Looper, his position coach, appreciates that. He is earning the next one.
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows. Look at that smile, looked up at the board. That's pretty cool. And as you look forward to the matchup next week against Oklahoma, they're a top 5 run defense in the country.
It'll be a big time match.
Missouri's got a young quarterback, talented quarterback. They're going to need another monstrous effort out of Ahmad Hardy. Just another running into guys, bouncing off, being patient, bursting, stiff arm. I mean, that's about everything.
Well, here's why that one's going to be so fun next week. I mean, what does the Oklahoma front do?
Move.
They move all over the place.
Yep.
They run, twists, slants, and Missouri has what is supposed to be the perfect remedy for that. I mean, the reason zone scheme, the stretch play were invented was to be able to manage things like that, sort it all out.
By the way, the only group of guys that had a better day, the pledges of 520 South College, Beta Theta Pi, initiated this morning. So congratulations to those young men. And Eli Drinkwitz Tigers snap a 2-game losing streak. It is remote, but there's still a chance with total chaos down the stretch. And Missouri could work their way into the discussion for the 12-team college football playoff. Best running back in college football, Ahmad Hardy, has a 300-yard night, 6th most in SEC history. And the Tigers dispatch Mississippi State. Now the Bulldogs will have to knock off their rivals in 2 weeks to get to the postseason. Eli Drinkwitz has earned a conversation with Cole Kubel.
I mean, I guess I got to start with a 300 spot for Ahmad Hardy. Pretty unbelievable you're able to put that up.
Yeah, I mean, we talked all week. We need to be able to run the ball for the offensive line, the tight ends, and Ahmad to have that performance. And then how about our defense? 2 scores on defense. Unbelievable job. Toriano Pride obviously will be SEC Defense Player of the Week with a touchdown and a blocked field goal return. So pretty awesome night.
Calling your shot there. You didn't even see what everybody else did on defense.
Yeah, I don't care. If anybody did better than that, they deserve it.
Matt Zollers, though, comes in. You talked about him just getting better opportunities. You guys taking care of him just a little bit more. What did you see from your quarterback tonight?
Yeah, a lot of maturity. I mean, came out there throwing the ball, knew exactly where he needed to, made the big throw to Donovan, and then the big yard after catch by Josh. Really awesome.
This performance is special, but we were talking about it during the game. The amount of running backs you've been able to go find, come here and have success. What does it say to college football?
Well, Coach Looper is a heck of a football coach and does a great job. We got a great scheme, and obviously, hey, right here. Hey, obviously, we're really proud of us. Hey, we're really proud of Ahmad Hardy. I'm gonna go fix that.
Thanks, Coach. Ahmad.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever think this was possible? A 300-yard game in a Missouri uniform?
Coach asked me before the game. I said I wanted 200. He said that I needed 3, so I tried my best to get 300, and I got it.
I mean, do you go buy yourself a gift, like a new horse or something? Like, what are we going to do after this one?
I might get 3 of them for 300.
And we heard that the truck play was going in this week. You guys were going to run more gap scheme, but you didn't even need it against this defense for you to be able to put up those yards.
Yeah, I mean, our offense stepped up. The guys block what we do best. We run the ball, and we ran it well tonight.
Now, I got a problem, a little bone I want to pick with you, if that's okay. We're in the meetings. We're talking to some of the coaches, and they said, yeah, Ahmad took the offensive line to dinner this week.
Yes, sir.
That's the first time you've taken the O-line to dinner all year?
Yeah, I should have been took him, but I congratulate him for giving me 1K yards, and I took him out. But we done did a little something, but I haven't posted it, so we went out, so I posted it.
Okay. 300-yard games to get the offensive line, a little something else.
Thank them guys, man. And I don't know what's going on tonight, but thank them.
Thank you, Ahmad.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
There you go, Tom.
Not bad for a guy one recruited. And showed up here after a year in the Sun Belt and has the 2nd best rushing day in Missouri program history. Tigers nearly hang half 100 on him.
49-27 is our final score. Plenty to break down, and we'll break down the big games left the next 2 weeks of the SEC season. But first, to the studio, here's Dari.